It's Saturday night with MLG Primetime.
Get in there, son! It's a 2000 contested, are you serious? Did you see that? That was just huge central for Crimsix.
Oh man, I got the 3, make it 4 kills at the start. He's already 2.5 kills away from
Oh my God, what is happening?
Oh my God!
My God! Now looking for a third gifted as well. Crimson for all 4. How does he do it? They get it done. Complete commotion is going to be there. Not enough time to work with. And OpTic Gaming is done. Incredible stuff. Play killing everybody wants all the points. Oh my. Oh God. That made me nervous. What did we just see at MLG Orlando?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is primetime Saturday night. We got your winners bracket semifinals for you. I'm Chris Bucket, joined at the desk by the legends. We got the 2015 World Champion replays. We got Mr. Merck and the 2014 champion in TP. Fellas, we have had a sick day, incredible games, close matchups, but when it comes to bracket time, we have already seen some intense action, including the reverse sweep that just happened. But break down pool play real quick. You see your top squads coming through. Who are the teams that you were looking out for earlier in the day replays?
I was looking out for Envious and I was looking out Infuse. I think Infuse just actually went down to LG, if I'm correct. So I mean, that's definitely a tough loss for them. But those were the 2 teams I was looking out for in the pools.
And of course, in the bracket play, we just saw Rise Nation going up against Envy. Rise down 2 games, comes back and wins 3. Now they're playing against OpTic Gaming. Is this the matchup you guys expected to see, Joe?
I mean, no, I think we all expected Envy to be here, but Envy played, great. They gave 8 minutes of that uplink, but then they gave it away, and that just started that reverse sweep.
And there you can see TP in the bottom half of the bracket. We still have to find out who is going to be moving on. FaZe Clan is going up against Elevate. Luminosity just took out Infuse, we're told. So we're going to see Luminosity definitely in our second match of the night. The question is it going to be FaZe or is it going to be Elevate?
Right now, I think the series is 2-1 Elevate. I think FaZe just won the uplink, if I'm correct, 10-9. So it's definitely a good series over there.
Oh, that's going to be a hell of a semi if we do get that one, the LG versus FaZe, the sort of a heavy hitter matchup.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one. We also have a great one here on our main stage. This is a little bit of a rivalry that we saw at the start of Black Ops 3. Rise Nation with a chance to go into the winners bracket finals where they'll secure themselves a top 3, but they got to get through OpTic Gaming, a squad that had everyone at their edge of the seats earlier in the day. Tell me what we saw from OpTic Gaming to start the day.
Basically, we saw OpTic get a nice lead versus the team they played earlier, and somehow they're able to bounce back versus the Kingsmen. They were chipping away. The first search and destroy, you saw the formal show with the sniper completely taking over, but still, Kingsmen coming through the open bracket kept it very strong, and OpTic, he was tested pretty early. Some huge plays from Karma had to come in. The ace from Crimsix on that last map, Redwood, the fact that they were able to stick strong really is a testament to how good this OpTic Gaming lineup when the pressure is on them.
OpTic Gaming, they just performed when the pressure was on. I mean, you get an ace from Crim6, 2-1 versus 3s from Karma, and this is just the team that was kind of considered that they should steamroll through the competition. They should never struggle with an open bracket squad. We'll see how strong are they playing right now. It looks like they kind of gathered their bearings. They were able to take down Ground Zero to get to this point. But on the other side of the stage, you have a red-hot Rise Nation squad. They just dismantled Envy after falling behind 2-0, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, they just played, pretty slow the first 2 games, and then the last 2 minutes of the uplink, they come back from a 9-2 deficit to win it, I believe, like 10-9. So just crazy series from Rise, and you saw that in Game 5. They just looked super comfortable, so I'm excited to see how they play in this series.
And we saw Looney kind of struggling in Game 1. He said, I got things sorted out in Game 2, and from there, our communication kind of took control in Game 3, 4, and 5 as they're able to mount the comeback. But who's had the hot hand? Who is the player to watch coming into the series from Rise Nation replays?
I got to give it to Slacked. I have not seen him have a bad map in a couple events now. This man is probably one of the most underrated slayers in this game. He is on the top tier, and he has proved it time and time again, but not too many people talk about him. I'm giving all eyes on Slacked.
The nitty-gritty gameplay as well. Some of the movement we saw from him on the evac, the CTF as well. Slack making so many huge plays. We're getting into this ban and protect now. We see very, very interesting rapid fire protect to start it off.
Yeah, and that of course is coming in from Rise Nation. I heard the players talking about it before OpTic even got to the main stage. They said, dude, we are protecting rapid fire. This was Slack saying it as well, and this is a guy. He had rapid fire when he dropped 50 plus kills in game 1 of the hardpoint last night. Was that right?
Yeah, completely right. And, you know, I love the energy from these guys. They just come off a big reverse sweep over the top dogs of Envious. So I feel like these guys are going to ride that wave. OpTic had, I don't want to say an easier match, but not as much energy in that one, in my opinion. Rise has the momentum in their favor. Expect them to come out extremely fast, confident, decisive in map number 1.
It's hardpoint for game number 1. Is there anything that you guys see not banned, not protected that you were hoping to see?
I believe High Caliber's still in the game
I think High Caliber's still in, and I think the ban on the Pharaoh is unnecessary, in my opinion. I think that, I know the Pharaoh rapid fire is really good, but we saw when it was protected against FaZe, or when it got through against FaZe, let me correct myself, the VMP was probably still the dominant gun with the rapid fire. I don't really think the Pharaoh is really as good as people think with rapid fire. I still think the VMP is probably the most valuable weapon when you can actually have it.
We said Vesper quite a bit yesterday. Do you expect to see it here in game 1?
Not with rapid fire.
So, yeah.
Not with rapid
fire.
No
rapid fire.
Close quarters combat, baby.
All right, well, it's time to take a look at our maps. The game is just 38 seconds away from starting. Guys, before we send it over to the casters, let's get some predictions here. Best of 5, OpTic Gaming, Rise Nation. Who gets the first spot in the winners bracket finals tomorrow?
Oh, man, it's going to be a tough one. I think Rise is going to ride this wave of momentum, though. It was such a huge win over Envy. They're going to keep going.
You're calling Rise over OpTic?
Yeah. Joe, unsure, but yeah.
Joe's going to balance it back out. He's going OpTic Gaming. Replays. Where are you leaning?
It's almost impossible to actually predict something right with these two of these kind of teams. I say OpTic, though.
You're just calling OpTic Gaming. Just to make it interesting, I'm going Rise 2 and 2. Where is it going to go? We'll find out now. The first map is loading up, guys. As it's loading, talk to me about the key points. You got the hard point moving every 60 seconds. Where is your money, Hill?
I mean, you saw from OpTic yesterday, they just came and destroyed Luminosity on that glass hill, controlling both of them. So look at that last hill to really sort of change the momentum and change the game. You know, if OpTic needs to set a lead, that's where they'll come back from. So, you know, definitely that glass hill.
Well, I have good news.
Yes.
Slack has his headset off. That means we have a few more moments to break this down.
All right. Perfect.
All right, so we talked about that glass hill. You're going to get a lot of points. When we're looking at the loadouts, a lot of new people watching Call of Duty tonight, especially everyone who found us on Facebook Live earlier in the day. If you're playing at the professional level, what are some key loadouts that you expect to see every single time you have pros facing off in hardpoint, TP?
Basically, going to be a little bit different from what we're used to seeing, largely due to that ban to protect. The rapid fire attachment going to be coming into play, which is very, very useful on a map like evac. Close quarters combat in those squarey type of hills. First, second, going to be very, very useful. A VMP, quick draw, stock, grip, rapid fire. Expect the players to load up their classes. We call it a greedy class because you stack up attachments, get full value out of your weapon.
Greedy class?
Yeah, greedy
and
class.
if you're playing that AR role, what's the preferred AR?
I mean,
loadout,
again,
Mr.
rapid fire and high caliber make it through. So it'll be really interesting to see what these players do. They might, you know, put them together. You might just see a rapid fire. You know, rapid fire M8 can do a lot of damage.
How often do we see that?
Did the Man of War get through?
It got banned.
It got banned. Okay, I was about to say. This could be really crazy, but every once in a while the ICR does come out with the rapid fire because it has no recoil and it shoots so fast. It becomes a very, very good weapon. I think that we're going to see that mate, though.
We have Octane on the main
I wouldn't be
stage.
surprised. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised if it was brought out, but I don't think so. I don't know. You'll see.
If you guys were watching Black Ops 3 at the start of the year, there was a guy who made the ICR famous, especially in the online matches, and that was Octane. We'll see what he decides to go with. Later in the series, we might some Shiva play. We'll see how that plays out. We saw it last night from Rise, but tell me a little bit about this guy. Octane has been someone who's had his ups and downs, considered at the end of AW as one of the strongest ARs in the game. Is he back to his top form?
Is he back to his top form? I don't think he's playing as well as he was in the beginning of the game. Is he playing better than he has previously? Yes. I think he's doing a lot better this event. He's putting up some numbers. I mean, it's very hard to match his top form of what we saw in the beginning of the game. He was dropping 50 bombs on a team like OpTic here and there. That is very hard to do. I think he's doing his job, though, at this event. I think we've talked about it in the previous events. He wasn't playing up to par. I think he's playing up to par for what Rise needs to do to win.
The biggest difference as well is Slacked is getting so many more consistent kills on the board, which maybe takes away from Octane's style a bit. The biggest thing about Octane in general is his versatility. When a sort of Band Protect like this comes through, he has a bunch of different weapons. He can switch it up on the fly that not many players are able to do that, and overall still have these amazing stats like we see right here.
Yeah, stage 2 of the Call of Duty World League, 12 of the best teams in North America competing. He puts up a 1.12 across all of his matches in that event. Now we're going to see him, how is he going to play against Formal on the other side, because that's a very dangerous AR that we always have to be aware of over for OpTic Gaming. Yeah,
and I mean, Formal's just been getting better and better. We sort of said how Octane has sort of hit his peak and then sort of come down from that. Formal is just about to hit his peak, and he's getting better and better while this year goes on, and he just always impresses, whether it's in any game mode.
Formal, of course, one of the most exciting players to watch as well. The guy has flashy plays, and I've been watching him since the early Halo days. He just shined as a sniper back in that game, just had such an incredible accuracy with the right joystick, never misses the headshots. We saw him go up in a battle against Study and Luminosity on Breach and Search and Destroy. I'm looking forward to those S&Ds in this series as we see the best of 5, how it's going to play out. But talking with this Rise Nation squad, Looney told me there is one player on OpTic Gaming that needs to be shut down, and that is Karma 2 Rings. He had the big plays in Game 5 against Kingsman. Karma, is he playing at the peak of his game right now, guys?
I think Karma goes a little bit underrated on this OpTic squad because there's so much talent. I think he's been playing absolutely phenomenal. He clutches when he needs to. He gets the job done when he needs to. And I think if you were to put him on another team right now, he's a top slayer. And he does his job here. And every once in a while, he has his games. I think he's playing very well this event. He basically saved OpTic in that Game 5 in the last one against Kingsman. So this is definitely someone that Rise is going to be willing to shut down here. And also, I've talked to Classic a couple times, and Classic thinks he's a very good player. He thinks he might be one of their top players as underrated. He's always saying how good he's been playing.
Yeah, I mean, when you sort of look at when OpTic doesn't do well, Karma's sort of the one that falls in that stats in the leaderboard. It just seems that, like, maybe when the pressure's on, he's trying to do too much. But we've seen once he's transitioned from that, second submachine gun to that third submachine gun and that second AR, he switched roles a few months ago at Crim 6, and it seems to be working out well.
And what do you think about that change that we saw from OpTic Gaming and Karma in his new role, TP?
I think the biggest change we saw from that little switch up as far as the roles go is sometimes they have issues when it comes to the objective gameplay. We saw the stat right there, the stat line. He averages the most carries on OpTic Gaming, but now he's playing a more slow, selfish style. So who's going to pick up the slack in the objective part when it comes to running those flags, putting your life on the line, running the drone on the opposite side of the map? He's usually the guy to do it. I feel like some of the other players need to step down from the killing category every once in a while just to make the gameplay more balanced for every player on the team.
All right, so there you see it. The map is loading up one more time. The headset is on Slack's head. That means we are going to game number 1. Make some noise, Orlando. Let's make some noise tonight. It's Rise Nation, OpTic Gaming. Let's send it over to our casters.
It is prime time. Let's hop into it here with OpTic Gaming. Going to kick things off with Scump. I'll be joined by Matthew, Mr. X Morello. As this is, a rematch from Anaheim?
It's a rematch of
winners
the
bracket semis.
Same exact round at Anaheim. OpTic Gaming wins that series 3-0, but I think this is definitely a Rise Nation team that looks much better than that Rise Nation team. That Rise Nation team at the time, coming off of Stage 2, well, in the middle of Stage 2, they were just not looking like that same team that they looked like in Stage 1. They're kind of back to form here, I think, here in Orlando.
All right, well, we're taking a look at Crim 6 right now. Well, we're going to be swapping over to Looney here from Rise Nation. He's going to end up falling several down for Rise. OpTic out to a nice early start. Let's kick it over to Karma. He started out 5-2, turning and burning there, picking up the assist as they're looking to lock down. This is when you talk about a first hard point, this is about as dominating effort. They might turn in 47 points from the first hard point.
It's quite good. And you see at the top of the minimap that it's at the top of the minimap, Rise Nation trying to rotate, but OpTic Gaming has control of those spawns, and they should be able to control this hill early. You see Karma's going to flood in the hill. Crim's going to be able to pick up one. There's just one player all the way in the back. It's Classic they have to deal with. They're able to take him out. Actually, he falls to his death. And OpTic Gaming is going to get a hold here. They're just blowing the doors off of Rise Nation early.
Yeah, we'll see if one player can kind of flank behind Helipad here. He tries to. That's Looney, but not able to get anything going. You've got 3 players working on streaks right now for OpTic Gaming. Lining up a couple. Here's Formal. He's got 2 in front. Picks up 1. Gets the assist ultimately will fall. I was joking before this. I was like, if this was me playing, I'd have just like fast hands on, and I'd have 5 perks. I mean, when you have rapid fire and high caliber
there's a
and all
distinct
these
difference
options,
between you and a lot of these players.
I'm not good?
But yeah, no, you are actually awful.
Yes, I am.
The ICR makes it through. Something Replays was talking about. I didn't think it would make it into this game, but you see it's Formal and Octane both running the ICR.
See, I would consider probably going with the HVK, but with you got to talk about rapid fire. With how steady this gun is, it probably doesn't really affect it at all. You can still use it with that.
You
basically,
get a little,
what feels like 100% accuracy.
Yeah, you get a little bit more range out of the ICR than the HVK, and I think with rapid fire it makes it that much better close range. So it's going to be OpTic Gaming up 95-5. Rise Nation. Going to be Octane picking up 2 kills. They're going to try and lock down this hill. Have a lot of time to make up. OpTic Gaming can take their time, get a good break here.
Well, what's interesting here, you talk about Rise. They come off the reverse sweep there of Envy. So you think they're going to be nice and warm, but on the other side of this, OpTic just got to have a match there with Ground Zero. So both teams locked and loaded. It appears OpTic Gaming controlling the pace here early.
Yeah, no, Rise Nation's not really come close. Going to come Classic on. A little bit of a flank there. Formal's going to be able to take him out. Scump coming around the back. He's going to fire a lot of shots at one. Tries to get out with his life. Not going to be able to do so, but nobody in control of the hill. It's going to be OpTic Gaming. Karma just going to fly in, going to be able to see one. Doesn't take him out. And now you see it's going to be Rise getting control of the hard point, Maven. Only 15 seconds left on it. If you're OpTic Gaming, you consider rotating towards this next hill, just giving up on this one.
That's exactly what they're doing. You'll see Formal and Scump going to be rotating across here to get set up at glass. You have Heatwave to work with. You've got the Shiva and Hand of Karma. We've been seeing him do damage with that really throughout the course of the weekend. You have so many. Actually, I'm going to look at that off spawn, see what he has on it. Let's take a look. So he's going to be going with high caliber. Okay, so no rapid fire, just quick draw elo in stock as well.
Yeah, obviously, Shiva, you'd rather probably have high caliber than rapid fire. I think kind of goes out question. You see the damage that the Shiva can do. Karma's able to pick up one. Has Classic tagged up. He's going to push forward, finish him off. And when Karma is playing well, I don't know if there's a team that can really contend with this OpTic Gaming squad.
Yeah, they need him to perform, and he's doing it right now. But Octane answers back with 3 of his own. We'll switch over to his POV. He's sitting at even right now, but the 3 streak continues. The ICR lining him up. He's able to take out Karma before dropping from his left. But talking a little bit maybe about slow starts here, you have 2 players and Slacked and Looney. You're talking about the submachine gun role here for this squad. They're getting completely outclassed. If you take a look just at the KD specifically between them and then Scump and Krem for OpTic Gaming.
And this has been the story of the Rise Nation versus OpTic Gaming matchup the entire year, right? When Looney plays well against OpTic Gaming, they can hang with them. They can beat them. That's what we saw at stage 1 when they started to make that comeback. It was really Looney starting to play well.
Looney had a horrendous first couple of games, right? Then he turned it on. They came back in a quick way, but the RK5 of Karma getting it done inside that glass. But now we're going to rotate back to our first set of hard points here. About to break the 150 mark is OpTic Gaming. He got 2 on his right with X-Ray. Scump able to find one. A second pushing up top. We'll see if he can lock that down. One coming through the big connector as well. He's got the assist. One more up top. There it is, the Scythe player, though, coming in. Octane able to pick up one before dropping, so the Scythe not doing a ton of damage here.
It's going to be Classic. Picking up one, flying into the hard point. He's going to go that side staircase. He's going to be able to pick up another. 2 streak now. It's going to get shut down rather quickly. Looked like Classic was trying to play for some score streaks there. Potentially, could have pushed in that second hard point when it popped up, but he's taken out rather quickly. And Karma still with the Shiva. He's been playing very well at this event from what I've seen with the Shiva in hand. I'm surprised you didn't see the Shiva go early. I mean, the Man of War goes, but it's really been the Shiva, which Krim and Karma, when Krim brings it out, been playing rather well with.
Well, once you ban that Pharaoh, it kind of limits your options a little bit, right? Not going to be able to target some of these ARs. Let's switch over. Let's hop to Looney, because Looney's going to be set up in the hard point. We talked about his struggles early on. He does have Heatwave to work with. He can pick up a kill or 2 on the rotation. It would be huge. One comes in from behind. It's not his Heatwave that goes off. Well, actually, a teammate actually ends up covering. I thought for sure he was going to be dead. He's sitting in double negative. Somehow Looney survives that entire confrontation.
Yeah, I did not expect him to survive that as well. It looked like when he got Heatwaved, he was going to drop, but somehow his teammate picks up the kill there, and now he's going to drop. And you see Karma coming in from up top with the Shiva. Not a gun you want in this close quarter engagements. That's where you'd rather have something like the HVK or the ICR.
Well, he was using it mid-map, but it was working pretty effectively as well. Spots you might not expect to see it. He's getting it done. Psychosis is out for Scump. One in front. The slide not going to work out. Karma trying to back him up. He's going to drop as well. Formal now with the Scythe out. The big stick trying to find kills. One below. Unfortunately, shot a bit off. Not able to find that kill around the corner, but OpTic Gaming still firmly in control. Just around a 70-point advantage here as Rise Nation now going to break the 100-point mark. And with 10 seconds left, we'll be looking to rotate. And I don't think I've really seen too many streaks come into play, because this is the hard point we actually casted versus Luminosity, right? And it's when the streaks really started to come together for OpTic that they started to pour it on, especially on this 3rd hard point where you can clear it out so effectively with lightning or health.
You just have a dart on Classic. That's it. in terms of score streaks. On that last hard point, though, I want to talk about real quick. Did not like the scythe use at a formal. Would have rather have seen him saved it. And that is why you get rid of kinetic armor. When Scum comes down there, pops Psychosis, imagine if that's kinetic armor. He probably gets in the hill, picks up 2 kills. That's why you're going to see teams ban kinetic armor against OpTic Gaming time and time again. But Rise Nation starting to mount the comeback. Obviously, they're going to need a lot of help to make that full comeback, but they're starting to close the gap, Maven, and over the last few hills, they've done a nice job getting some time.
Well, Classic's got 4 in a row, trying to make it 5, is going to end up falling. I think he doubled up on the dart, but all he was able really to pick up, and usually this is where kind of that time where you talk about Rise comeback, that's usually where OpTic really turns it on and kind of buries teams. Haven't been able to do it yet, but Karma's shot is on point, finding one, finding the assist. You see Octane on X-Ray in the back, just kind of free-firing in that corner. And with 5 seconds left, we'll see the rotation try to come in. Let's go to Crim6 at mid-map, who's popping camo, trying to burn here inside the hardpoint, able to find up one before he ends up falling.
Yeah, just picking up that 1 kill, though, is going to force members of Rise Nation to start to rotate and move around. You see Karma's trying to get close. He's going to get Heatwave. Looney picks up 2 big kills.
That gifted a 2-piece.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's 2 big kills from Looney, but it's 2 big kills right there out of Scump, as Rise Nation still able to hold on to this hill, Maven. If they can keep control of that top glass, Octane's got to post up there, start picking up some kills. They can make this one almost virtually a tie game going into that second rotation of hardpoints. Third rotation of hardpoints.
So far, they're doing a solid job picking up time, but Karma trying to pick him apart here with the Shiva. Not able to find any more. It's going to be Scott mid-map trying to break in. He's got Psychosis to work with as well. Finds one, tries to pre-fire the edge. Not able to pick up the kill. Teammate dropping to his right, lining up a couple. He's doing the damage, not finding the kills, but he is finding the assist. The bait and switch not going to work, because that's actually Slack finding both kills. We talked about Slack and Looney starting out a little bit slow. Looney still needs to pick up the pace, but Slack has come alive, and that's going to be big if they're going to counter what we've seen out of Crim6 and Scup early in this game. That's a big part kind of reflecting the scoreline, why they're able to come back, now trailing by just under 20.
And you see all the kills in the kill feed are in favor of Rise Nation right now. I mean, they're going to get control of this hardpoint right as it pops up. They're going to pick up some kills in the middle, and you're going to trade them out, and you're going to see Looney slide in. He's going to have one player behind him, another player at big door.
Did the other player not see him?
Yeah, for whatever reason. Formal doesn't
should
look
have
at
eyes
it.
on him.
And Looney's able to pick it up. 2 big kills there from Looney to secure the hard point from Rise Nation at the start, and they're going to come back, Maven. This is one that OpTic Gaming cannot let slip away, but it's Rise Nation mounting the comeback. Classic with 1, Classic with another.
There's the lead
and
change,
there's
baby.
the lead change.
Rise is right back in this. Classic's got the 3 streak. You see a couple players X-Ray starting to push in. Classic's got a pre-fire. Able to find tag on the 1, not able to finish it off. Trying to find the second. There it is. Finds the kill. His teammates pick up 2 more. He pushes the 4th and able to win it. Rise Nation coming alive here. Classic still has this dart he's been sitting on for what feels like the entire game.
And I obviously not going to use it right now. Only 100 points off of the Lightning. He's going to hold on to that and try and get the Lightning strike, then use those streaks in case they need to break that 3rd hard point, but it doesn't even look like that's going to come into play. The guys on Rise Nation have just come alive completely in the slaying department, dominating OpTic. Oh, absolutely abuses Formal there,
yeah,
and he's going to get fully streaked.
Oh, God. Classic's going nuts. 8 streak, fully streaked out. 9 and 10 might be up front, but his teammate's going to push it out. It's going to be Karma and Formal pushing forward. Camo's going to come in, trying to counter the Heatwave, not able to do so, but at 2 points left that are needed here. The final one, the Heatwave's in, and Rise Nation brings it back. Trailing, what, 100 to 5 to kick the game off?
Basically, it was 95 to 5 at one point, I believe. Classic goes absolutely bonkers over the last 2 hills. You see the guys on Rise Nation there, they're just laughing. They can't even believe that even happened. Well, Classic finishes 37 and 25, a minute and 53 in the hardpoint, 9 defense. A monster game from Classic.
Honestly, even if OpTic holds on there and that goes to the 3rd hard point through a 3rd set of rotation, they now have the Hellstorm and the Lightning to work with the Classic. I don't see how they bring that back.
No, I don't see it either. I mean, they can get control of that 3rd hard point. They probably, Rise Nation at that point only need like a few seconds to win it. They probably break it or at least contest with those streaks. So really, once Classic gets those streaks, you kind of figure the game's going to be Rise's.
Yeah, and Nade's not really involved at all, so you doubt you're really going to be looking at Flak on anybody. That dart might have even come into play too if they got to the 3rd hard point. But it is Rise Nation with a monster comeback there in game 1. We'll toss it to analysis to break it down further.
Thank you, guys. Score streaks are not needed when you have a Classic on your team. Replays, this is your hometown best friend. You've been growing up with this guy. You brought him back into the competitive Call of Duty scene, and he puts on a show for us to kick off primetime. What did Classic do to change this game?
He went on that 8 streak. He completely shut down in that middle hill. He made OpTic Gaming look like he was able to play with them. He showed them why this is the Rise that we wanted to see from the previous times when they played each other. Them taking a hard point off a Rise is huge. Nick is probably one of the most improved players in the CWL that we've seen from Ghost to now. Definitely one of the best.
And TP, we saw Octane very consistent throughout that game, But it was Looney that kind of surprised me most in this. He started off, I believe it was 7 and 14. Yes. Then he just turns it over in the second side. Was it just bad hills for them at the start of the game for this Rise Nation squad? Where did they start to turn around in your eyes?
Basically, we were talking about the money hill going into OpTic's favor, which was that glass one, but it was actually the opposite, which we saw, which was largely due in part by Octane and Looney. That's where they started to bounce back and get the score back in their favor. Octane got to that top glass with those windows, with that rapid-fire ICR, and there's really nothing that OpTic could do. You saw OpTic start to spread out on that minimap, start fighting those 1v1 gunfights, and that's why they're able to bounce back so well. The rapid-fire coming into play in Rise's favor, the ban and protect, you know, is perfect.
And I mean, speaking of that rapid fire, I mean, it almost backfired. I mean, OpTic came out of the gates firing, you know, going 100%, and you could hear it. Krim was yelling, getting pumped up. He knows what this series means to this team. He knows what this tournament means after a disappointing Season 2 playoffs. So, you know, it's crazy to see, you know, Rise bounce back. But this is a map, you know, Evac's one of those maps where if you rotate to those hills early, set up, take your time, you know, Rise just didn't rush. They knew as long as we rotate, we can get back into this.
Now, when we saw the maps last night, we saw Evac Hardpoint was going to be in it for OpTic Gaming when they played Luminosity, and you guys said, oh, this is one of OpTic Gaming's best maps. They should be able to crush. Is it just the way that Rise Nation matches up against OpTic that's causing them problems, or did you see something off for OpTic Gaming in general due to the ban and protect system?
I mean, I don't. This is one of Rise's better maps, too. I think they just match up very well together. I think they're both two teams with an immense amount of talent. They have a great amount of teamwork, and I think every time they play each other, they go head-to-head.
Well, we have our ban and protect loading up for game number 2. We are going to keep the games coming your way as fast as we can. First move from Crim6, absolutely no rapid fire. He's done with that. Overkill is going to be taken out by Rise Nation. Karma is going to get rid of high caliber as well. So the two things that were being abused in the hard point, now out of the game for Search and Destroy. What do you guys expect to see with the remainder of our bans and protects?
I mean, what we've seen from OpTic, especially Karma, is that Shiva. When he has that Shiva, he looks extremely comfortable. You saw it in that hard point. We saw it earlier in the series with that Search. He can make so many plays with that Shiva. It just seems to be his comfort gun right now. You know, we sort of talked that he can be a little bit inconsistent in the stat, you know, line nowadays. But, you know, with that Shiva in hand this tournament, he looks very, very comfortable.
Shiva, it's so fun to watch. It's so powerful. But if you miss your shot, you are dead.
Yeah.
That was sort of the risk for reward on that first map. OpTic was starting off with that 2 AR setup, and then we saw once they lost control, the Shiva is not very good to try and break into it a hard point and slide in and get an intro kill. So that kind of, you know, got to him after a while. He didn't switch off. I'm not sure exactly what happened or what weapon he switched to after the Shiva wasn't working. However, Search and Destroy, a completely different story. Expect the long sightlines, especially on a map like Infection. The Shiva is one of the strongest ARs.
And tell me, guys, who is the stronger S&D squad currently in Black Ops 3?
I think right now OpTic Gaming is definitely the stronger S&D squad, without a doubt.
Joe, you picked Rise Nation. Are you going to pick them here for S&D?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah?
Actually, I think I picked OpTic, but yeah, we'll pick Rise for this game number 2. I mean, you saw in that first series with Rise, that game 2 on Breach, they just didn't look comfortable, but game 5 on Hunted, they looked extremely comfortable. So hopefully they made those decisions in between the maps, sort of just got, you know, just got their objectives down, and hopefully we see that same team that we saw from game 5.
All right, so you called OpTic, and Team called Rise. Is that how this sorted out?
Yes, it was 2-2.
Sorry, guys. I want to make sure the right people get the credit at the end of the show.
For me, that's fine.
All right, and guys, it's time for predictions. The game is loading up here. Who wins this one, TP? What's the round score?
Oh, I think it's going to come down to the wire. I'm expecting around 10 or 11, to be honest. I'm sticking with my Rise boys. I'm going to stick with them.
Rise boys?
I'm going to go OpTic.
Going OpTic?
Yep.
I think OpTic's the better S&D team overall. I think they're going to take this map.
Going OpTic Gaming. We'll see how it all plays out. We do want to remind you guys, this is a best of 5 throughout the entire winners bracket. Here's a look at our 5 maps. Of course, you saw game number 1 on Evac Hardpoint. Infection Search and Destroy is coming up now in game number 2, and we will be going to Fringe for Uplink game 3. I'm excited to see some Breach CTF because we saw some incredible CTF from both squads in this tournament. And if it gets to Game 5, we're going to Stronghold for S&D. But now it is time. Game number 2. Will OpTic Gaming be able to answer back? It's Search and Destroy on Infection.
You guys were wonderful, breaking it down to a T, and now it's time for Search and Destroy, and let's see if Formal can be the difference maker. We've seen him be time and time again the big sticks out.
Yeah, and obviously not going to have thermal. Like we saw him hit those crazy snipes earlier in the day. He's going to have to go with the Varix this time. It's not going to be as easy for him to see these players tank to tank. So that's really the big difference here. And actually, he's going to get naded in the mouth. So not going to be able to do anything with the sniper rifle to kick things off. Octane draws first blood for Rise Nation.
Stump inside at B here. You saw through the wall. Everyone basically between mid-map and A. He's going to try and plant for his safe corner here. He's not safe whatsoever. He's going to end up dropping. It was Karma trying to look over him. It's not going to be Karma and Krim left in a 2v4. He's got his trusty Shiva, though. We'll see if he can make a difference.
I was just going to say he does have the Shiva, but obviously not going to be able to get into that B bomb site fairly easy with the Shiva. A lot like Teep talked about, on Evank. One of their main issues is once they lost control, they were not able to break with those assault rifles right there. They lose control at B bomb site. It does not look likely that Karma was going to be able to get in there. Now when he drops, it's going to be Krim left alive here in a 1v4. He's going to get pushed to his right. Classic's able to take him out. Good first round for Rise Nation. Not the gaming fans obviously remember this map from Stage 1 finals. It is the Game 7 that they were able to pull out.
Sure, some still have nightmares about it for the Rise Nation side, but that was tough. I mean, you're in the 2v4. Unfortunately, Krim kind of pushes back to their spawn, leaves Karma by himself. Had they pushed the other side, there were 2 players from Rise pushing in. Maybe things go differently. They can trade a little bit more effectively there, but as it stands, that's 4 up, 4 down for Rise Nation. And Classic, the hot hand there at the end of game 1, starting off nicely here at 2-0.
They still would have had issues getting that bomb out of the B bomb site area with those assault rifles. They would have pushed in deep, try and get them in. Nope, it's going to be Classic playing up top in Grandma's house. Just going to be watching that mid. It's completely smoked off as now without thermal, and you can kind of smoke Formal off and try and push into these different areas that he likes to watch with the sniper rifle. Like, look at that angle he's watching just inside of that church. It's just one we usually don't see when he was looking down towards the grave, but it's going to be Scump drawing first blood on the Classic, so OpTic Gaming getting the man advantage.
Looks like they're going to be favoring A here. As you can see, I'll blow up the minimap. Not a whole lot of defense here to deal with this. And you can still see that number 3, that's Formal highlighted. He's still kind of watching that same angle that we saw from earlier, but one pushing mid-map. It's going to be Karma. He's able to find the kill. Can he look for more? It's going to be Looney and Slack in a 2v4 like we saw. A difficult situation here for OpTic in the last round. Putting shots in, able to find it is Karma. Trying to close things out. Scump in front. 2 apiece for the duo. And they're able to tie things up at 1-1.
Fairly easy round for OpTic Gaming. I do have to question, though, Maven, if the guys on Rise are going to attack Formal with the snipes, whether it's going to be with grenades, trying to smoke through the middle, and they're going to kind of like negate him to the point where he has to kind of sit on the church steps and look through grave. Like, why even have it? Why even use it?
Did he fire a shot that round? Because I think he went up over the top to check B Street. There was no one home. By the time he checked middle, there was nobody. And then he was worried about pressure coming in, so he had to back all the way up into kind of back church. I don't know that he was even really got a chance to pull a church.
No, I can't remember a shot that he took. So maybe they have to adjust, kind of go away from the snipers if these guys are not going to peek them. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different outcome than what Kingsman did. Kingsman tried to peek him pretty frequently. We saw what happened in that one. So it's going to be Scump with bomb in hand. They go back towards their small alley, and looks like they could potentially try an A hit here.
It looks to be the plan. We'll hop back to mid-map. And it's going to be Krim6 now trying to trade the kill back. Able to do that as Classic does get first blood. They're starting to sneak their way forward, but mid-map, it's going to be Looney. He was tucked away in this corner. He's able to find Krim, but 2 OpTic players have pushed from behind. Trying to find the kill is likely going to be Formal. Looking for, but not able to find. It's going to be Scump now into 1v3. Tagged up from behind. Not able to do it so far. I mean, defense making it look easy.
I really think Formal needs to get off the snipes. I know how good he was earlier with it, but I mean, in this situation right there, I mean, he goes straight out of Broken, and he's trying to shoot that guy at the B steps. I mean, he's definitely one of the best snipers, if not the best sniper in the game, but you are not going to win that gun battle quite often against a guy like Octane with an
I see both sides of it. Sometimes you want to say, like, keep it out. You're going to get hot eventually. Party also says just put it away.
But eventually you're just going to, you're going to run out of rounds to
let's
just throw away.
Quick.
Yeah.
Let's put away for now.
It's going to kind of get out of control. So we do see Classic going to get into Tom Grandma. It's actually going to be Octane going down the B street. Looney's there to follow it up, though. He's going to be able to get one. Trades those kills out quick, but just like that, Grim is coming from behind. He's able to pick him up. Now it's going to be Classic, the last one alive here in a 1v2.
Should be a one-on-one, maybe no. Formal from behind, able to find it. We're tied up at 2 apiece, baby, as they are able to close it out. Back and forth thus far. I mean, similar to what we saw. Well, I guess the first game wasn't that back and forth as much as Rise just pulling that out of the hat in the closing minutes.
Now that round, what Rise tried to do is just kind of push pretty strong down the B street, try to trade pretty quickly, but obviously did not have that man advantage over there. They're playing with 1 man down, and Krim comes from behind, takes out Looney, and sets up that 1v2 scenario.
You wanted Formal to put away the snipe. You do see him get the closing kill in a position that would have been much more difficult had he not had the M8 in hand. Let's see. Still going to be M8 for now. Looks like pressure towards mid. Also outside, Krim. You'll see him waiting around the corner here. He's got one right next to him, which goes vertical first, able to get the vision on it. Just keep peeking. You're going to find it eventually. There is the kill coming in. 2 first kills dropping down, answering back. At the long-range gunfight. You cannot take that versus Octane with the AR. But let's switch to Octane's point of view because he's kind of got Krim stuck here, but he's by himself. He's going to have to go huge. He's able to find one, trying to snap onto the second, but Krim closes it out. OpTic Gaming now has the edge.
Yeah, he was just a little bit off there. Octane not able to kind of get his centering down on the Krim, but that first kill that Krim got on the Slack, it was pretty important. And what happened actually in that scenario was when Slack jumped up, it was like at the same exact moment Krim came around the corner, Slack didn't see him coming to his left, and Krim able to pick up that kill with ease.
That's like one of the little craziest battles in this actual map, is that little battle kind of happens at that outside rock. Like, who's going to go vertical? Is he going to peek the edge? Because with the timing on that, I mean, you could find, sometimes you're able to find 2 or 3 kills there if the timing works out for you. But now it's going to be Rise Nation back to offense. Looks like they're trying to get aggressive towards A and mid map. Scump covering mid for the defensive side of things. Looney has already pushed up, trying to win a gunfight there with Scump, but he's tagged up, going to end up falling. It's going to be the edge now going to OpTic. Let's switch over to Krim, because Krim's actually on a 4 streak right now. So he's actually 250 off the dart, trying to find some more, trying to tag up Octane in the back. He has a player on his right to work with. Who's the close corner? That's actually going to be Formal. Try to sneak up and get good position
It's interesting for Rise to push out to that B staircase with just one guy and not have another person there to trade it. Like, if there was another guy there with Looney, they probably would have traded that kill out pretty quickly.
Let's see if he's able to find it. I mean, Krim has taken so many bullets here, but getting so much information, kind of holding them at bay, making sure Rise Nation not able to get up over mid-map. Eventually, you think he's going to find the kill, or he's going to drop. All he's done, I mean, this is wasted a solid, what, 45 seconds off the clock with Rise just trying to pick him off?
And at this point, I mean, Rise only has 30 seconds left. You kind of know if you're OpTic, you're stacked over towards A. It's not coming over towards there. As soon as Scum sees somebody, they're going to force everybody to rotate from the side of OpTic Gaming.
And that's Crim6 finding a kill. He will be traded out now. Scum looking to win the one-on-one, able to do so. He's got Octane now in the back. The shot's coming through, not able to clean him up. Octane actually finds one. It's going to be a 2v1 here for OpTic Gaming, and Scum closes it out, 4-2 advantage.
And you can't let Scum get set up behind that V bomb site with a VMP in hand. He's not going to lose these gunfights. He's going to win them with ease. It's a good round for OpTic Gaming.
Without the help of a grenade or a specialist ability, you're not going to kill him in a one-on-one in that spot. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, even if you have nades right there, he has flak jacket on. I mean, there's nothing they really could have done to force him off that position other than like sliding in, kind of giving up somebody's life and then killing him.
And at that point, with just one player, you don't have the option to kind of effectively try to trade that out and take control of B. But now we'll get back to the offense. Let's check one more time. It looks like it's gone away. Still taking kind of little snipers. Right, goes over the top. Who needs a sniper when you're M8 stack crispy? Finding one. OpTic Gaming now with a 4-3 edge, trying to really lock down this series. He's going to keep on peeking forward. Finds one more towards A, and Slack absolutely obliterates him.
Yeah, once they've gone away from the sniper play, they've started to put together a few rounds in a row for OpTic Gaming. So even though Formal drops, he does get first blood.
Yeah.
You're going to be 3v3. Looks like OpTic Gaming trying to push down this B street, see how they go about this. They could go, hit it pretty quick, try and slide in with 2 players, or they could try to play it pretty slow.
Looney has gotten a little bit more aggressive on this side, but the timing works out horrendously for him. And now OpTic back in control. You see the 2 players on the minimap that are going to be covering the B side is going to be Octane and Slack, just waiting on Scump to make the call to push in. It looks like it's going to be now trying to push through, and that's going to be Slack shutting down both. Now all of a sudden it's going to be Crim6 by himself. He has Camo to work with. If he can turn this into a 1v1 in the next 10 or so seconds, he's really going to give himself a chance.
They played that so poorly. I mean, Karma is set up on the sandbag.
He doesn't have any options
ready
here.
to shoot.
He has no options.
Krim
other than Camo, and you're not going to use it.
And you're not going to burn Camo. With 19 seconds left, they know where the bomb is. You're not going to burn a Camo. But, like, Scum slides in after Karma gets picked. It's like it needs to be the opposite way. Like, Scum needs to slide in, and if he drops, Karma needs to be the one set up on the sandbags ready to pick up the kill. As soon as Karma drops, like, why would you even run in if you're Scum?
Yeah, but on the other side, hell of a job by Slack. He's able to pick up both kills.
Slack,
and then also, I mean, he scares the hell out of Crim6. I mean, Crim6 doesn't know where to go once he gets tagged up and has to push back to that green alley. We'll get back over to Rise now on offense. They're only trailing by 1 round. Let's kick things off with Slack. He put together, I think it was 2 and 4 coming into that. Picks up 2 nice kills.
See what Rise decides to do. They've been putting a lot of pressure on the mid-map. Haven't seen that much success. It's going to be Slime going for a high wall run. Going to try and pick up Scump there in the middle of the map. Gets a few nice tags. Not able to take him out, but it's going to be Octane taking out Formal for first blood in favor of Rise.
Scump tagged, but still up, and he's got, I believe, Crim6 looking over him. He's going to have the trusty Shiva in hand. He's been kind of going back and forth. I think we've seen him with a sub, with a Man of War in his hand, now with the Shiva. But it looks like the pressure is going to go outside of B yet again, kind of a slow rotate. Pressure going to be on Scump again.
Here's the problem.
Okay.
If Rise Nation gets the bomb down at B, you have Karma with a Shiva as well. If Scump dies here, how are those two going to break this bomb site with Shivas?
Well, I mean, you're about
there
to
goes
see
Scump.
it.
How are they about to break in with Shivas?
Not able to do so, I think, is the answer here, unless Karma can do the impossible. Not able to do it. Back-to-back rounds here for Rise Nation, and they're right back in the mix of things. And that kind of exactly like you said, once the Scump drops in there, you have nothing that can break unless obviously you're picking up a gun.
I know they've been playing great with the Shiva. They've been shooting well with it, but just the play style that kind of ensues when you have it in your hands, like, you're not able to make those type of plays, and you're relying so much on Scump to lock down that B bomb site.
I'll tell you what, Rise not seeming to be phased by the crowd at all. You saw the crowd get a little bit loud when that 4-2 advantage was on, but they silenced them kind of with the back-to-back big wins here. Can they keep it going out? Take a look at the minimap. You see nobody outside pushing B for the side of Rise Nation, so you're going to have a relatively open site here early. Now, the question is, do they decide to push through or push in? It looks like they're going to be pushing into site.
And on the side of Rise, you see Scump's going to get the bomb down, but on the side of Rise, you got Looney with double nades, so see if those come into play. And
let's check it.
You do have a lot of players with abilities up for the side of Rise, so you see one nade actually gets a tag. Not going to connect on anybody with a second one, but it looks like they're going to try and slide in here. It's Rise Nation, so they're going to get one player up onto the bomb, and you could potentially see Looney fly out there with Heat Wave and try and get it off. And he's going to go pop his Heat Wave. He's going to die in the process. It's going to be Slack getting one. Formal and Karma picking up kills apiece. But Classic is on bomb, gonna get a ninja defuse.
Oh my God, I didn't switch to him. I didn't want to give it away, but he was on it the entire time.
So he gets to that corner.
Oh my God.
You saw him actually when Looney flies out there.
As soon as they called the Heat Wave, he probably just stuck it.
Well, Classic was the first guy in. He gets on bomb right there in the corner. You can see him in the final kill cam. And as soon as Looney pops out, he Heat Waves, and they assume that Classic is probably playing a little bit further back by the statue. He's up close, gets the ninja fuse, and you can kind of hear the crowd, like they're excited, they're clapping, then they realize what happens. Like, oh.
Yeah, I think the instant I switch is right when he finished that defuse, and that's, you put so much pressure out with that Heat Wave, obviously, the two players pushing in front. It was free for him until Formal found the other kill. Just as soon as he was going to be able to get the angle and peek that, it's too late. And now it's 3 in a row for Rise, looking to get a 2-0 advantage here in this series if they can close it out. You need a big defensive stand from OpTic Gaming. They've been doing a pretty solid job defensively. Taking a look across the kills, it looks pretty close as far as who will get offense or defense. This round probably means a lot as far as round 11 will go.
Yeah, and if you're OpTic Gaming, I mean, you have kinetic armor on Scump. Depending on, I think you probably use that depending on whether you get first blood in your favor or not. If you do get first blood in your favor, I think you probably save the kinetic, because usually when you get first blood, you end up winning those rounds. If they don't get first blood, you're going to need to use kinetic, I think.
With those double nades again.
Yep. Looney's going to get one. You're going to see it's quickly traded out by Crim. So I do not think this is the round you need to use your kinetic. It's going to be Classic, though, using his camo, getting across, and you have both players dropping stacked up in the B bomb site, and they are trapped in there. You have to think Scum's just going to run right out. He's going to pick up one. Does not matter. 40 seconds left.
And he looks like he just wants to fly in, tries to find him in the corner, not able to do so. It's going to be Formal trying to clutch. There's the glitch. Can he find the kills? Classic still holding the corner. And tries to make it a 1v1, but not able to do so.
Why?
Classic clutching up yet again.
Why would you fly in there if you're Scump without using kinetic? I mean, you know that they must win rounds.
I
mean, you have to pop kinetic and clear out that whole back area. There's no like in that situation when you get the 2v2, like that's a good spot to use the kinetic. Like.
I agree. I think the call must have been, whether it was Crim or whoever's making the call, hey, we have a 2v2, we can win this, save it for the round 11. Somebody must have said it. They had to have. I mean, I tend to agree with you. Win the round, get to the round 11 first.
Does not exist if you don't win that
No,
round,
they're not currently playing it.
No, they're currently not playing the round 11. So
I have to guess somebody made the call not to use it. I mean, they had to.
I mean, maybe they thought like he was going to get to the corner fast enough where the guy is still like on bomb, potentially like just getting up from it. They're going to be able to pick him easy, but I still think you got to come around that corner with kinetic, flying in there with Formal underneath with these.
Let's toss it back to Puckett and the guys. What do you think about the non-use on kinetic armor?
As soon as we saw Rise Nation get that 6 point, I looked into the crowd and there was about 20 people with their hands on their head. They couldn't believe what just happened. TP, you were smiling starting around round 7 when Rise was getting momentum. How did they come back in this game after another strong start from OpTic Gaming?
basically the retakes coming down to it. It was a very slow infection S&D, something we're really not used to seeing, and it all comes down to the round that Classic really got the Ninja defused. Him in duo with Looney. The fact that he was able to stick the bomb, and Looney was basically, he wasn't even trying to fight the gunfights. He was buying so much time. We're going to break it down for you right here, and such quality gameplay from them once they got that round, the Ninja defused, that's how they were able to bounce it back. I just feel like after that round, we saw the camera go over to Scump, and he's just like, you gotta check the bomb, bro. But they were heat waved in a situation like that. They got heat waved outside, couldn't check the bomb fast enough, and Classic just stuck the bomb the whole time. I love how Rise played that.
Yeah, if you guys were just watching that and you aren't as familiar with Call of Duty as these experts are, basically, Looney just went out there and sacrificed his life. He used his specialist ability, and OpTic thought, okay, we picked off the player. Meanwhile, he had a teammate who was just sitting on the bomb, defusing it without OpTic being aware of it, and that really just seemed to get in OpTic's head. They kind of just fell apart in the following rounds. A few mistakes, but talk to me specifically about the end of this game, the kinetic armor that Mr. X was harping on.
Yeah, so there always comes a decision with using specialists. Like, when's the correct time to use them, right? There's always that sort of decision making. And when you're down 5-4, if I'm Scump, yeah, maybe they have numbers, maybe they believe they can win a 2-on-2, but you have to pop it. You have to guarantee that round 11. And it was just an obvious misdecision by OpTic.
And replays, tell me a little bit about this game overall. We saw OpTic get off to a good start. What were they doing right before Rise Nation took it back?
They were just getting their first bloods. They were playing together, and they were getting the proper trades. This is the second map now that we've seen them come out of the gates with like just perfect gameplay. It just seems that halfway through these maps right now, they're just slowing down, and they're kind of losing their teamwork.
Well, one thing for me, too, is, like, Rise won this ban and protect. Like, you could just tell right away. I mean, and they shut down Formal Sniper, right? They get rid of that thermal sight. Yep. They start using smokes. They start using frag grenades where in positions that they know where he's going to be, he has to switch to that M8 in about 3 rounds later in the map. So that was a great use of that ban and protect out of Rise.
Is this 2 ban and protect wins so far in the best of 5?
Easily.
Easily.
And you saw the 2 players that hold those longer line of sights on Infection for OpTic are Formal and Karma. You saw Looney pull out the frag grenades, able to cook those, pop those over the map, and that's really how you shut down the sniper in coordination with the smokes as well. Great stuff from Rise.
And we talked about Formal, how devastating he can be with the sniper. Mr. X halfway through the game was saying he's just got to put it in his back pocket. He is not going to be able to make it work with the attachments and everything else that is available in this game. If you're going to see Formal back on his top form, do you start protecting some weapons here, or are you going to consistently ban if you're OpTic Gaming and stick with your game plan that you've had all tournament long?
I think you're going to stick to the banning. I don't think you're going to protect weapons. I think he's completely fine. I know the sniper ban probably threw him off a little bit, but I think Formal can use any weapon pretty effectively.
Formal can get it done with anything. Well, 2 games are in the books. Rise Nation starting off with a 2-0 so far, but we just saw in the previous match against Envy. Envy gets off to a hot start. The other team, Rise, comes back and wins 3 straight. How does OpTic Gaming get back in this match? Is uplink the turning point for them in this series?
I really think it can be, especially on a map like Fringe. You can gain a lot of momentum, put a team in a spawn trap, and demoralize them. If OpTic's able to come onto this map number 3 and get like a 10-point victory, that's really where we see that reverse sweep start to happen. The team that is in the lead starts to doubt themselves a little bit. The maps 3 and 4 is really where the team's coordination comes into play the most.
Yeah, that's just what we talked about. It's 1 and 2 just happen so fast, but 3 and 4, the pace really changes, and that's where most reverse sweeps start. I mean, they start, you know, just by winning that uplink and just chaining together that win with the CTF. Those game modes are so similar, but they change that pace from that hard point.
Yeah, no, they definitely changed the pace, and I've been saying it probably all weekend here. When you have these 2 teams going at each other, or even Envy or something like that, you have to play 10 minutes of perfect Call of Duty right now. Right now, OpTic is starting out playing flawlessly, but they're giving up a little mistakes here and there, and a team like Rise will capitalize. So you have to make sure whoever is coming out this next map has to play perfect Call of Duty to either close the series out or to start this reverse sweep for OpTic Gaming.
And if I'm Rise, I know how that reverse sweep started for them. They know that Envy was up 9-2, and it just took 2 minutes. Rise knows that. They have to play a good uplink game for the full entire 10 minutes.
Definitely.
And they've been a second half team in our first 2 games so far. If they can get off to an early start, it could be even more dangerous. But OpTic Gaming on the other side of things, this is a squad that just stomped out Ground Zero in uplink over on the feature station. I was told they put up around 20 points against their opposition. So their uplink game, at least on the feature station, was informal. See what they can do here on the main stage. The players are now going to get ready for our ban and protect and get the game loaded up here. But let's talk about big picture here. Historically, throughout Black Ops 3, who has been the stronger uplink team?
Boy, that's a tough one to say. It's kind of went back and forth, to be honest. I don't really want to say there's a clear-cut victor. We saw at Stage 1 finals, Rise was able to bounce back, almost perform the reverse sweep there. And it was a combination of getting, the uplinks went back and forth and really always have throughout Black Ops 3. Currently, I might give the advantage to Rise, though. I think they've overall been playing better. OpTic's been doubting themselves. They had a bad Stage 2 finals. Everything's pointing towards Rise, in my opinion, on this one. But in terms of the map itself, Fringe, it does favor OpTic's slower style of play.
OpTic Gaming is going to be the favorite here because of the map choice. Joe, do you agree with that?
I mean, I have to agree, but if I'm Rise, I try to win this ban and protect you, and I think you have to get the Shiva out. I mean, that
Rapid
second
again,
AR
maybe?
in Karma, yeah, that second AR in Karma, he's been using that Shiva in every single game. I would try to get that out of his hands.
I definitely agree. I think the ban and protect is going to be very, very important. And I think probably on Fringe uplink, it's probably going to favor OpTic Gaming more, but I think Rise has more momentum here. I think the way they're playing, they are hyped up, and that's a big factor in Call of Duty. I think this is going to be giving Rise the edge, but historically, I'd probably say OpTic. I don't know. This is pretty evenly split.
Well, if we see anything like we did last night, Scump is going to be hitting some crazy one-pointers over buildings. We're going to see Karma getting interceptions, and then they're just going to catch fire. But Rise Nation, they've taken games 1 and 2. They could close it out with a match win here in Game 3. Let's take a look at our ban and protects right away. Rapid Fire is back in the game, boys, thanks to Rise.
Yeah, it's very important to note that. Rapid Fire.
It's banned from OpTic Gaming.
Yeah,
I saw that wrong with the
right.
glare.
The teams are racing for it now. OpTic Gaming was obviously tilted by that in map number 1, and Rapid Fire attachment is usually banned later. So OpTic's going to have to change their strategy up in these ones, and you see that is why Rise is able to get what they want. Get rid of that kinetic armor ability. We saw Scump not be super effective with that Psychosis in map number 1. Kinetic is his go-to, and then also carboning Karma getting rid of the Shiva.
And I mean, if you're able to take away kinetic armor for a player like Scump, that's such a big deal because Scump usually, I think every time he has kinetic armor, when he gets the chance in a respawn, he definitely gets that 2 or 3 piece. He's one of those talented players. So being able to strip him from that is definitely one of the keys in this ban and protect.
And it looks like High Caliber maybe slipping through. How big of a deal is this, Joe?
I mean, it is a huge deal. There's a lot of power position on this map Fringe, where those M8s can just rip opponents off head glitches. So I think it's huge for this. And I just think Rise wins this ban and protect. They take 2 essential components of OpTic's gameplay out.
See how it all plays out. The map is going to be loading up here shortly. Predictions, are we going to a Game 4, or is Rise closing it out right here, boys? You said OpTic should be the favorite on Fringe.
I think overall series, I want to be sticking to my Rise pick, but I think we're not done yet. I think OpTic's going to win this uplink.
Joe?
I've been wrong every map, so I'll just stick with OpTic.
Stick with OpTic?
I feel like Rise has the edge with this momentum. I think they're hungry to close it out. I think I'm going to give this edge to Rise.
Orlando, Florida, let's hear you. Who thinks Rise Nation is going to make it a 3-0?
Okay.
How many people think we're going to see OpTic force a Game 4? I think we got some OpTic fans making noise, but not as loud as they used to. Let's send it over to our casters to kick this off.
Thank you, Christopher Puckett. Here we go, baby. I really feel like if OpTic takes this, we're going to a Game 5. If they start to get a little something going, it's going the distance.
Oh, without a doubt, I kind of agree as well. And you hear the crowd getting behind the guys of OpTic. They really need to start to come alive. And I think within the first half of this uplink game, even, I think you're going to be able to learn a lot from what the outcome of this one will be, just from the fact that I want to see how Karma and Crim play without the Shiva. We've been seeing them do nice things with the Shiva the entire weekend thus far. How do they play with the M8? I think it's a huge question mark here.
Well, Karma trying to stay alive as he has Jordan in hand. It will end up dropping this 2 down now for OpTic Gaming. Matt Formal trying to answer back mid-map, not able to do so with that extra armor, but does find 1. Krem6 tagging another as well, but it's still going to be Looney here with the drone. He's got 2 kills in a row. Let's see if he can get anything going. So he's trying to work forward.
Yeah, now Rise Nation obviously does not really need to push that drone up the map. With OpTic Gaming being on the more advantageous of the 2 sides, attacking over towards Barn, they can really set up that relay in that back alley. Rise Nation can just kind of dwindle down the clock, take some time, potentially try and set up like a cross-lane pass here.
See if they can make the play. Classic out up over the top of Barn, and is it through? Yes, it is. 1-0 lead here for Rise. Several down for OpTic as well. Can they keep the pressure coming? It should be Octane coming in off spawn, looking at this forward, but 2 of his teammates dropping. Classic still leading the way in front, trying to find the kills. Octane getting shots in the back, but not able to do so as OpTic finds 2. Now it's their turn, but I think every time the push develops for OpTic, it's developing out of the back of their base, which makes it so difficult to turn a 2 or 3 down into points.
Well, they're going to get 2 down here. They need to convert this into points. It's going to be Karma with the drone in hand. He's going to just toss it down, get his armor reset. He's got 2 players with him. And you see it's going to be players, I believe it's going to be Formal and Scump to his right and
There
left.
it is, baby.
Scump's going to pick up 1. Karma's going to put through the score. It's going to be a 2-point play for OpTic Gaming.
And you can see it's Crim6 right back. Do they try to toss it up their window? Looks like he's going to make the run himself. He's got some cover to work with. Looking to add points onto this. Look at the minimap. This is a guaranteed dunk. Everyone overextending now for Rise. He's holding onto this for them to try and get mid-map control. You saw the HC pushing forward. Scump able to find 1. They want to make sure it's clear. There's the dunk. That becomes a little bit closer.
I was going to say.
Maybe you're comfortable with people, the OpTic fan.
Yeah, he barely makes it through there. Maybe would have liked to get there a second sooner if you're Crim, but going to put in another 2-point play. Rise Nation, though, they get back mid-map. That's what's most important there. It's so hard to break out of that back alley spawn trap that OpTic Gaming had. And it looks like they're going to be able to get a 1-point play out of it. Looney goes over the top, knocks it down. So it's actually a pretty good sequence of events there for Rise Nation. You're not totally upset with that.
That's flawless. I mean, you send 4 on the overextension. When you send 4 of the extension, if you're a new viewer, that means you're giving up a dunk. You're absolutely giving up a dunk and looking for control. You turn that into 1, you're only -1 the whole thing. That's as good as you can ask for out of Rise, and that's veteran play there.
And you see Slack's going to get around the corner. This is going to be a 2-point play. So just like that, Rise ties it up. That's a huge play there by Slack. They are playing great thus far in the first half. I mean, with the spawn trap that OpTic had, to be able to get back that mid-map control, people don't understand how hard that is to do.
Oh, phenomenally done. They tie it right back up when it seems like a second OpTic might be taking control. Rise answers right back, and that's what they've been doing throughout the series. Think about game 1. OpTic out to an early lead. Rise answers back. Game 2, 4-2 lead for OpTic. Rise answers back. Similar stuff here, at least early on. Rise just will not go away. But now it's OpTic's turn. He got Heatwave to go with for Karma, but he's just going to take the 1-point opportunity, able to sink it through, and now it's a lead for OpTic yet again. But how do you feel about this lead? If it's this narrow, if you have like a 1-point advantage pushing towards Barn when you're going to switch sides, you don't feel that great for OpTic.
No, not at all. And you see Classic's going to actually get off a 1-point throw there over the top of Grandma, not able to connect with it. It's actually going to be a little bit wide to the left. But if you're OpTic Gaming, you go into the second half only up 1 with Rise attacking Barn. You figure Rise is going to get at least 1 or 2 points there. It's going to be hard for OpTic Gaming to produce some offense.
Well, it looks like they want to try and push it through back alley, but everyone obliterated there, including your drone carrier, and that's going to be 4 down. So now as we get back to mid-map, Octane's going to push it out. And looks like, okay, he got upset. Okay, he got up top for the reset. For a second, I thought that was going to cross kind of back to the back alley, but if you take a look, he did get it up top. So
yeah, no, it's going to be a 15-second reset of the drone. So the guys on Rise Nation trying to lock down mid-map, but it's going to be Crim and Karma picking up kills apiece. Taking them out. Classic
you can't let Classic do that. He was the only man alive. Yeah. And he picks up 2.
It kind of spoils all the push that OpTic Gaming is going to get out of that. It looks like a 1-point throw is going to go
nice
to the top
shot,
from Formal. It's a nice shot there, but you got to wonder if that could have been more for OpTic Gaming.
Classic does his job. When you're in a position like that, you have to try and find kills when you're the only man up for your side. Can Classic keep things going? Not able to do so. Just over 15 seconds left. Who's going to be able to rally in a final point here on the first side? Looney coming forward, finding 1, has Heatwave slide forward. Rise and his teammate to pick it up, but he's not able to do so. Is anyone there for the toss? It looks like it's Slack that grabs it over the top and good. Rise puts 1 through in the final seconds, and it will be the 1-point advantage we talked about for OpTic. Listen, going into the half, you don't feel great.
You do not feel good at all. And 5 points is actually a decent amount when you're attacking over towards that Grandma's son.
It is, it is. I mean, even the points, like just the differential is the big thing, right? I mean, it can be 2-1, 3-2, whatever the case. The fact that they have that 1-point advantage, yes, it's a lead. And yes, you can win this if you're OpTic, but when you're switching over to the more preferred side, you gotta feel pretty damn good about Rise right now.
And you gotta think Octane he finds his groove with the M8. He's been playing pretty well with the M8. He's, this is probably his favorite gun of choice. I would say it is his favorite gun. We see Octane use all the assault rifles, but on the side of OpTic, you see Karma and Crim not playing as well as we've seen them play with the Shiva in hand now that's gone out of this one. So we'll see if Octane and crew can come alive here in the second half, take control of this game.
But here they go early. Can they get points in the opening 20 seconds? Not able to do so, not able to tie it up. But already what you've seen out of this. Yeah. So Rise gets 3-0 in the winner's bracket final, or sorry, the winner's semifinal at Anaheim by OpTic. With how close this has now been, are you already kind of convinced that this is a different Rise team that we've kind of seen over the last couple months?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, look, they were going through some team issues. I know talk about players not being as dedicated as they once were, and it seems like they've kind of righted the ship a little bit. The Rise Nation camp, they've definitely put in the work over the last month or so. They've started to look much better.
Not able to win that one is Karma. 3 up for either side. not a lot of action on drones since we saw Octane's 1-point opportunity early on. And this is, the point of the game where you have specialist abilities available for just about everybody. Psychosis out now for Classic. He has drone. Octane's going to be in front. I believe he pulls out his sight, but the heat wave comes through, able to shut him down, but the drone carrier answers back, able to beat down Karma. Now 2 players to beat. Will the interception come in? Is the 1-point toss good? There it is. Tie game. 3:45 left on the clock.
He barely gets that off, Classic, and for a second I thought like he didn't hit his boost, he just kind of like just straight up jumped and threw it over the rock. For a second I didn't think he was going to make it, but they'll knock that one down, tie the game up, 3 minutes and 30 to go, but you haven't seen OpTic really get control of the map. They haven't had any presence on the drone spawn. It's not been a good second half thus far for OpTic Gaming. They need to put more emphasis on getting that drone control. And you see Looney, he's going to pick it up, go right down the middle of the map, and this could potentially be a 2-point play.
There's the dunk, gets it through. Everybody rotating back for OpTic Gaming, but can't shut it down. 8-6 advantage now for Rise Nation. Let's get back to mid-map. We'll go on with Octane, who's 1-1 gunfight. Has one behind the flank, able to find that. He disappears, and there is 3 as Octane dismantles OpTic Gaming. The 4th comes through in the form of an assist, but now the pressure is coming in. Classic looking for more. Wants to get points on the board. He's got Octane covering his left. He's going to wrap around the back. It looked like he thought about just maybe tossing it over and getting gun up, but he goes for the long one. There's the toss. Not good. Interception comes in for Formal.
Octane with just a crazy play in the middle of the map. They're not able to convert into points, but you just see that OpTic Gaming is getting no pressure towards that middle of the map. Whenever they get the drone, it's just in the back of their own base, just trying to throw it for yards, trying to get any type of pressure on the Rise side of the map.
They're being outplayed right now. Put simply, they are. And now it's going to be Scump now by himself. He's going to try and rotate over to tracks, find the kills. This is where the pressure is going to come from. Finds one, tries to find a second, not able to do so. Going to lose that gunfight, so it should be more forward momentum here for the side of Rise. Just over 2 to play. Trying to bring this close. 1 in the corner. Ends up being out control for the second. He needs teammates to cover him. Pick up the kills. 1 more there. Track, but it's Slack. Slack was by himself for a moment to deal with that pressure, and he finds 2. Every single time I feel like OpTic has the advantage, whether it's like kind of a 4v2, 3v1, that last player for Rise is finding a 2-piece like every single time.
Yeah, and we did see OpTic Gaming during the regular season complete a crazy comeback on this map. It was from this side as well. When they were able to score, it was like something like 4 points in the last 30 seconds to force an OT and ends up winning it. So we have seen explosions from this side of the map for OpTic Gaming, but Rise Nation has played this virtually perfectly up until this point.
And in that series, if I remember correctly, Scump was just on a tear. And honestly, it doesn't feel like Scump's really got going so much in this series. You're so used to seeing him for somewhere in the range of like plus 10 to 20. You haven't got that. He's sitting at even. Can he get hot over the final 90 seconds? Trying to push forward with Formal. Formal's already found 1. There's 1 in the back. That's Octane. Needs the help of an AR to find it. He's able to find it with a sub-Formal. Also finding Octane in the back. This is your opportunity for points. Have to get it forward. Krim has drone. Here comes the tying dunk. Should have it. Can't get to the edge. Is somebody there to grab it? I think it's going to be Scump. Scump has it. Dunk through. Tie game. 70 seconds left. Now we got to get back towards mid-map. Is you're going to have a one-on-one gunfight here from Bricks with Looney and Karma at top guard. Can he find the kill? Not able to do so. What a shot from Looney.
Yeah, and Slack goes all the way into the back of the Rise Nation base, and he clears it out before he starts to push towards mid-map. So it's going to be 53 seconds left on the clock. You're going to have players from OpTic Gaming trying to push towards that drone spawn. You can't get too desperate if you're OpTic Gaming. Try and get towards the drone, because then you're going to get slayed out mid-map. Going to give Rise Nation a good opportunity to just get up on that top Bricks wall and get that 1-point throw over the top of Barn.
I was about to ask, when does the Tempest come out? The time seems to be now. He's trying to find the shots. 1 behind Trunk, can't hit 1 on the cross as well. Trying to get it in. Almost burned the entire clip. 28 seconds left. You see weapons coming out from everybody. It's the sight now up for him. Able to find 1. Karma has 1 as well. The pressure coming forward. The clock is dwindling. Drone in hand for Krim. Has to hit the shot. They're already lining up in the back for the interception, but can he get it done? 15 seconds left. Wrapping around the back. They're all stacked up. They're ready for the pick. The shot is over the top, and it's good. OpTic hits it. 7 seconds left. Can they get the drone? All they need is a reset, and they have done it.
Krim with an unbelievable individual play. They cut down Looney as he goes for a 1-point throw at the end. OpTic Gaming makes the comeback. Barely, Maven. They win this uplink 9-8.
Woo! That one was tight. Down the stretch, they would have 3 unanswered to take that one in the closing moments. There's the shot of Classic. I was going to say right before OpTic goes huge that if anyone's going to be the dagger here, it's going to be Classic. You feel like in the closing moments of every game, he's gone huge. But there, it's Krim 6 and crew. You saw the Tempest come out. You saw the Scythe come out. All the weapons, all the utility saved up for that moment. They get it done. And now, this series, I'm telling you, man, it's going 5.
I mean, it'll be a CTF Breach up next. I know some of the things that have gone on with OpTic on Breach through the course of stage 2. So You would say, maybe Rise Nation closes it out, but I got to believe OpTic has a little bit more momentum to take this to a Game 5.
Better at CTF than Hardpoint
Yeah,
when it comes to Breach, but we'll see what they're able to do to break down that insane finish to the Game 3. Boys, take it away.
Thank you very much, fellas. First off, how many of you guys here at the desk thought this was over, that Rise had won the game?
I don't think I thought it was over.
I thought it was over.
No, I didn't think it was over. I thought I was expecting an overtime. I wasn't expecting an OpTic win.
You're expecting some overtime,
Yeah.
not the OpTic win. Let's break down that last play. You see Crim6 miss about 12 shots with the Tempest. The Scythe comes out, and they still manage to get the shot. Was the Tempest just a delay strategy? How did they execute that last push, Joe?
Well, it was just they just had to use it. It was last minute. But someone on OpTic, I'm not entirely sure who it was, but they put pressure on that globe, and it made Rise to sort of have to wrap back to their base. Crim6 gets mid-map control with that Tempest, and I believe they had a Scythe as well out of Formal. Yeah. So they're able to get that drone control. He gets on top. He knows Rise is focused on the guys around that globe area. Crim6 just takes his time and just sort of juice that sort of like kill sign above his head and just hits an easy one.
All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from this game. OpTic Gaming was on the scoreboard early, and then we saw, some nice dunks coming in from Karma, but you guys were most impressed with the throw from Looney that happened about mid-game.
Yeah, no, that was throws from both teams, but that throw from Looney over the L wall, over the Grandmas, is one of the hardest throws that a lot of pros do not know, and that means he has taken his time and he has learned that, and he's gone over that multiple times, because that's not a throw that you learn once and you just have it for the rest of the time. That is something that you have to practice.
And
both
here you
teams,
see the final play.
Yeah, both teams did an absolutely phenomenal job of hitting their ones, and a lot of the times you see us get very angry up here about pros missing easy ones, but honestly, that was overall great gameplay out of both teams.
High-level gameplay from both sides, and just a heads-up play from Crim. We've seen it so many times throughout the years. He's able to do it again. It's all mini-map awareness. As soon as he gets picked off, Classic from Rise got the first kill over towards Globe. I think it was on to Karma. As soon as Crim sees that on the kill feed, you see him instantly react, take the drone up to the top granny, go over to the wall run, and hit the sort of fadeaway shot to get the victory for them. It takes a certain tenacity from players to be so level-headed in a situation like that, to extend a series, staying alive in this one.
Joe, you've played against this man. TP, you've played with this man. Tell me a little bit about Crim6. When does he take his game to the next level? Because it seemed that he was making the big plays when they needed him at the end of that one.
Whenever they're under pressure, I mean, you can hear it in his communication. When they know they're about to get out, when they're losing a series or they're about to lose a match, he steps it up. We can hear it from here. Yeah. He's trying to get these guys pumped up, trying to get these guys mentally focused, making sure that they don't make any mistakes. And Crim6 just turns into that robot that we know and love.
The biggest thing is that sense of urgency you hear in his voice. You can hear him throughout the stage, backstage, across the room. You know when they're doing things wrong, and he's going to let you know the instant you mess something up to fix it on the fly. And that's what sets these elite teams apart from some of the lesser ones, in my opinion, the teams that can adapt in the middle of a game for a specific situation like we saw right there, and that's why they're able to close out the map, even though Rise was outplaying them for most of it.
Yeah, I mean, very similar situation to the series before where NB outplays Rise for 8 minutes, and very similar situation here. I mean, I think Rise has control for most of that game, and then 90 seconds left, and it just goes in OpTic's favor.
You just can't give one of these teams a little leniency, because once you do, they just take advantage, and it doesn't matter if they have 30 seconds left or they have 2 minutes left. It does not matter. They just make it their way.
And you have to wonder how much is left in the tank for Rise. Playing back-to-back matches on the main stage, you get all the adrenaline from game number 1 with that epic comeback. You keep it going in game 2. Does that loss set you back a notch, or as soon as game 4 loads up, they're back to normal?
I think it sets them back a notch. I mean, you can hear it. I mean, OpTic's here now. I mean, Breach ETF is a very fast-paced game, and if guys like Formal and Scump are winning those key gunfights, this could turn south really fast for Rise.
Speaking of that CTF, it is coming up here shortly. We will have our ban and protect phase as always, and then we'll jump right into the action. But break it down for me. Breach, of course, we saw it for Search and Destroy on last night's primetime. We're going to see it for CTF. What is the difference in terms of gameplay? What should we be looking for from both teams when it comes to capture the flag?
You're going to want to look on a map like Breach CTF. You're going to want to see the team playing on the preferred side to be very aggressive towards the other team's base. This is the side where you can put people in a nasty spawn trap and make sure you capitalize on a lot of flags. This is one of the CTFs that you do see a lot of high scoring. It's not going to be like a stronghold where you see a 1-0 game. Most likely, you're going to see 2 to 3 flags on each of these sides. So when you're on the preferred side, you have to make sure you're aggressive. And when you're on that less preferred side, you have to make sure you are counting your kills. You know who is alive, you know who is dead, and you have to know when to pressure and when not to.
How many flags do you need to score on the preferred side to feel comfortable with the lead going into the second half?
My opinion, you needed 2.
At least.
2 flag lead to be comfortable because of the certain spawns that happen. We see it on Breach uplink all the time. That back palace spawn is so difficult to get out of sometimes. But now we're hopping into this Band Protect, and it seems like everything, the meta has been set for this match in specific after that map #1 hardpoint. OpTic is not letting Rapid Fire get in. Kinetic and Shiva answered back by Rise again. Pretty normal stuff that we saw in the last one.
Yeah,
Nope,
I mean, they're
no
just
more
trying,
rapid fire.
Yeah, no more rapid fire. I think OpTic was like, all right, we're done with that. But Rise again, that Shiva and Kinetic ban, I think it helps them out so much.
Yeah.
With Scump without his Kinetic, he makes so many plays with that specialist. I think it's a really smart move by Rise to keep banning that specialist.
And there you have the rest of the bans coming in. Overclock is going to be out. Flashbangs out. Active camo is going to be gone. And it's time for this map to start loading up here. OpTic Gaming forcing a Game 5 said Mr. Rex before the last game started. He said if OpTic wins this uplink, we're probably going to see a Game 5. Does that hold true for you guys, TP?
I think Rise close it out here.
Calling it now.
I think it
you
is.
called Rise at the start of the series. You're saying it's over right here in CTF.
I think this is the one.
Young Joe?
Sticking with OpTic.
Sticking with OpTic. We're going Game 5.
I think Rise is playing really good Call of Duty right now. I think if they play this 10 minutes right, I think they're going to take it. I'm giving it to Rise.
He's converted. All right, we got 2 for Rise. Joe sticking with OpTic to force a Game 5. We'll see if they can close it out. For now, the map is loading up. Let's send it back over to Mr. X and Maven.
Thank you, guys. Merc, if he's anything, he's consistent. he's sticking with OpTic throughout this one. How are you feeling about it? I know I said if they won the uplink, I thought it was going Game 5. How do you feel?
You know, looking at the Banner Protect, I like that Rise was able to get the Shiva and Kinetic out of the game. I think that's definitely changed things and swung some things in their favor. High Caliber makes it through yet again. You know, was not brought up over there, but High Caliber makes it through. So you're going to be seeing that on probably, well, you would assume all of the M8s. There's really no reason not to have it. You can definitely fit it in on the class.
He's got it here. Not able to find the kill is Karma. Karma running Heatwave. The one thing that stands out for me the most about him on this map in CTF, I swear he averages something like 3 to 4 returns, and it always comes off the back of a clutch play with Heatwave. We'll see if he can get more going here. But it's Rise Nation in control of the series. They still enjoy this 2-1 advantage. Scump looking for more kills. He sees Formal dying up top. That means pressure coming towards his flag. The pull's going to be in from Slack. He's going to take it right through middle. You have it pulled by on the other side by Crim6. A little bit more cover, certainly, for Crim. It's Looney that looks like he's going to have to end up going big. He's kind of in the middle of all this.
Oh, and Slack and Looney are just kind of trapped on this last side. And Slack's going to drop. It's just going to be on Looney.
That should
he's
be a
taken out.
No, maybe not. Maybe not. Octane, can he do the impossible? It's just Octane. You got to strap on those Pumas. Trying to get to the edge. He's going to challenge. The whole green wall is there. And that is a cap in for OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, not ideal there for Octane. It's going to be Scump starting off 4-0.
His view when he turned, dude. It's like everyone just soaring at him.
But before that happened, I was going to say that I felt like it was pretty important for Rise to get off to a good start. You know, they kind of give away that uplink. They got to be kind of kicking themselves for that. Can't go down here early, and they do.
And the big thing is look at the side that OpTic did it from. You know, you talk about pushing Broken. Maybe a little bit easier to make, but what side do you like in CTF? I know some maps it kind of varies between your uplink and your CTF. I guess it's a little bit more consistent.
I think this side you want to be attacking towards Broken.
Yeah.
This map you want to be attacking towards that
Whether
Broken side, whether you're playing uplink or CTF, it's definitely the preferred side of the two to go on.
Well, pulling out the HC, risky business as Octane was just about to peek that corner, trying to get the shots in. Not going to be easy at that range against the M8, but Karma trying to back this up. Should be able to trade the kill, able to do so effectively. But let's switch over to Classic as he's got into bottom green. Knows there is one kill coming in above him, trying to challenge Karma, able to win that gunfight. 2 more in the back. He's flying through. Doesn't have a whole lot of help to work with. I think it was Slack that was in a position to maybe do so. Not able to do it. Nice defensive stand there coming in from OpTic. They hold on, they shut it down, and now it's their turn to push out and apply some pressure.
Rise Nation just needs to kind of take a deep breath. You see a lot of players just going in one by one, right there. Classic goes in as no teammate help. Then you see Slack flying in with Psychosis straight through the middle. Nobody else there trying to take on 3 players from OpTic Gaming. Looney comes trying to attack over from Palace. He drops as well. They just need to take a deep breath. They need to reset. They need to make good pushes together.
And you take a look at hot start plus the The plays coming in from Scump is going to give him streaks. He's trying to find the kill, finally going to get it. Might be able to get the flagpole, trying to get to the edge. Goes vertical, drops back down, not able to find it. But you do see his Lightning, the Hellstorm still to work with. Formal finding the kill. It's going to be Classic pushing the flag, able to win it, so he should be able to get a pull. Trying to win a second. I don't think he had enough of the clip to really get that done. So no more pressure from Rise for now. Players spawning out, basically a palace, them to rotate back for OpTic.
But I mean, right there, you're relying on Classic to go massive, pick up a huge two-piece against Formal and Karma and pull the flag alone. Like, you're not going to win consistently when you're playing for this kind of one-on-two, one-on-three type of
Can Classic
CTF
make
game.
those plays? Sure.
Of course he can, but you can't rely on them against a team like OpTic Gaming.
All right, well, now the pressure's going to come again. What do you know? It's Classic coming in first. Sorry, buddy. Formal has you teed up. Octane's sitting back there like, oh, that looked fun for you. And he catches a Hellstorm to the teeth as well as Scump's able to pull that out. Let's switch over to Crimsic's point of view as he's used Vision Pulse trying to get in. The shot's a little bit shaky. Going to challenge. Screw your heat wave. There's the kill. He's got the flag as well. Going to take it topside. Coming through connector is going to be Classic. He just saw him enter. This should be an easy kill, you would think, but the shots come in. He's able to back up. The challenge comes in. The return is there. And all of OpTic Gaming outside of Scump back at home gets dropped. And now it's their turn to push forward yet again.
Yeah, and that's 3 dead for OG. The guys on Rise need to be fast. They need to make a push here. Classic falls off the map in the process.
That hurts your pressure.
Yeah, Slack gets dropped by Scump, and then Classic falls off the map, and that pretty much ends any chance of a Rise Nation push there.
Formal in his, I was just saying, his good position where he's like to make some plays. A good thing for OpTic is Trim on the opposite side. Now you spawn out, so you get kind of a favorable spawn to wrap back to mid here. I thought Karma was going to push the top. We got to get back to Trim as he's going to have thrown in. Scump's going to fight too with the Lightning. It's just a flag carry that to pick up. The return does not come in. That's a 1-on-1 for Crimsix. Now they go on the hunt. It's Looney by himself. Boys, I need some help. They're trying to chase him down. It's going to be 1 and 2 on your minimap looking for the kills. It's going to be Karma pushing. Scump actually coming from the back, trying to dodge the frag. Now he's going to fly in. 1 in front. Can't find it. Karma's still up. He's got Heatwave to work with. Can he find the tag? He's able to pop it. There's the return. There's the score. 2-0 OpTic.
And why are they not anywhere near to trade that kill out? Once Karma turns the corner, knows the flag carrier is directly underneath him, pops the Heatwave, gets the kill, jumps right on top of it, not even challenged by another player on Rise. Big play from Karma there with Heatwave like you were talking about.
He gets it done time and time again. Scump finishes the half with the 2-piece, but the 2 that matters are the 2 flag caps here for OpTic Gaming, as they are firmly in control, especially when you take a look at the sides. They talked about this being a higher scoring map, because usually you get 3 or 4 on the board. Well, okay, 2 to 4 on the board pushing towards broken. That's usually where your caps come from, right? Not usually in the fashion OpTic did it, so you've got to be feeling very, very good.
Yeah, I feel like things just fell apart for Rise Nation there. They were just going one-on-one, and they were just into the base over and over again. They needed to wait and make good pushes together, and they never got anything going.
It seemed like it's like there's a communication lag, right? Like there was 1 second push a difference between each of them, never able to change together.
I don't even know if it's communication. I think it's more of, you know, we're losing this game. Somebody needs to make the play that turns the tide. It's like, I'm going to be the guy that makes the play. And it's like, you're not going to make that play alone. Like, more times than not, it's going to be something that the team does. And you see Crim just walks right into the Rise base, takes out Octane. Now he is running down Brickside with yet another flag.
And he's got Vision Pulse to work with. If they're worried about somebody being at home, maybe you think about using this when you get a little bit closer in range of the base to try and make a play. But now the call comes in. They found the kill. It's just going to be Classic around the back. Classic's going to drop. And there is Cap 3 for OpTic. They are crushing right now in CTF on Breach.
Yeah, this one has not been close, Maeve. I feel like Rise, they lost a lot of momentum, obviously, after that uplink, and then with the poor play in that first half, they really needed to like reset halfway through that game. They just never did, and you see things start to spiral out of control. It's going to be Scump trying to sneak into bottom glass. He's going to get taken out, but you have not seen any real good offensive push from Rise Nation this
far. It seems like I'm spending time with OpTic players quite a bit. There's a reason. There hasn't been a whole lot of pressure from Rise, and now there's going to be 3 down.
From Rise, there's just one guy flying in, gets taken out. There's nobody else there.
He tags him. There's just screw it. Have fun, bottom green. I'm going to grab your flag and try to get out. He has Scump covering him. Scump looking for kills. Able to find 1. Crim now getting out to mid-map. Got across here. He has some help at home. I think Karma had the HC out. He did have the HC, and he found the kill. They need to find 1 more. That's going to be Classic trying to make a play, trying to get back, trying to get the pull, trying to get the return. He has him in front, tries to win the gunfight. Not able to do so. The cap should be coming in shortly here. It's Formal grabs it. It's a 4-0 lead for OpTic.
4-0 in CTF is a pretty large margin, Maven. I mean, right now it does not look good for Rise Nation. There's no streaks on the side of OpTic. That's, I guess, your 1 positive if you're Rise, and you do have the flag in your possession.
They touched the flag?
Yeah, you do have the flag in your possession, and you're going down Brickside. It's going to be Looney. Has win a huge one-on-one here, and it's going to be Heat Wave coming into play from Karma again. He is so good with that ability in CTF.
He saves it for any time it's going to basically lead to a score or lead to a return. One of the best in the business at doing it. How many's he got now? He's got 2 returns now. You see a couple for Scump as well, so those guys doing a great job when it comes to the objective play. And now more pressure coming in from Karma. Has to reload, but able to find a kill, finding the HC as well, and has helped top broken. Now they're going to wrap it top side, try to press towards top green.
You just got to wonder if Rise kind of threw away their chance at this series. Obviously, it looks like we're going to see a Game 5, barring one of the crazier CTF comebacks we've ever seen, but things would just not look good for them in this match. Karma just completely misses the second player.
There's another one there, buddy.
His bottom broken, but see Krim get into a good position here in the Rise base.
Well, he was just looking at the wall.
Yeah, nice play there from Krim. Knew there was one more player before he could pull the flag and clear it out.
Well, I think who's going to probably go across the connector here to find the kill. I thought he might take the wall run. Well, I thought that was going to be a play from Scump, but not able to do so. So we are going to have a bit of a stalemate here. As it resets, the only person aggressive is going to be Formal, trying to find it in the back. You sneaky little beaver. There's the kill. There's the return. There is going to be the cap. 5-0 lead, OpTic.
This is ugly. This is really, really ugly. I mean, OpTic has played tremendous in this CTF. Rise has not looked good whatsoever. I mean, they have not put together any good offensive pushes. They haven't played any defense. I mean, you have not seen much of anything from Rise Nation here.
This reminds me a little bit of how it looked. Rise was the opposite, though. Envy got the 2-0 lead, then Rise came alive, and you thought Envy sort of disappeared. OpTic now putting it on. Maybe they'll get their reverse sweep. This is bound to be another cap, unless Octane is able to make a play. He's not 6-0 OpTic. Rise is giving up at this point, man. They're getting slammed.
I mean, what do you do at this point? I mean, it's 6-0, a minute to go. You just have to kind of like run in, try and make a play, and you just get gunned by Formal Scythe. He gets fully streaked out. If it wasn't the game over, maybe a minute ago, it is now.
Oh, yeah. He got the streaks to work with, plus the 6-0 lead. It is certainly done. OpTic has done it. We're going to take this to a Game 5. We'll watch the final moments here. I guess I might as well go back to Formal way spawns. Maybe he'll use some of these streaks in a flashy manner, but that's Scump find it too. Give me a third mid-map. Thought he had it. Had to realign, but able to pick it up. I got to think he's going to start calling in some streaks.
Oh, yeah, he's just going to rain these missiles down. Here comes the Hellstorm. Yep,
that's a lot of concrete.
Does not connect with anything. Let's try the Lightning Strike, see what we can get. Maybe it'll connect with something. One of this one. Then. Yep. Connects with one player. It connects with Scump as well, but he's going to lose that gunfight at the end. A 6-0 CTF in favor of OpTic Gaming.
You think maybe OpTic's come alive at this point?
Dominant performance. They have definitely come alive. Classic pulls the flag. He gets blown up by a lightning from Krim. GG, Maven.
10 seconds and 1 point away from this being a Rise 3-0 is now going to be going to a Game 5. I believe the boys mentioned we're going to be going to Stronghold Surge. Oh, wow.
This is the thing with OpTic Gaming, though. It's like when you have them on the ropes and you have a chance to close it out, you have to do it. Because then the crowd starts to get loud, they start to get confident, and they just start steamrolling you. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. That's why that uplink game, man, Rise need to close that out.
Well, OpTic fans, certainly something to cheer about now. There weren't a lot of moments through games 1 and 2 where they can even get hyped, get into it. The energy level is increasing big time. But to break it down, Puckett, take it away, buddy.
Thank you, guys. The energy in this room is now electric. Everyone has woken up as OpTic Gaming has come to form a dominant show in CTF just when we turned you into a Rise fan here for Game 4. How did OpTic get it done replays? Because in our highlight package, it is just OpTic play after OpTic play.
Well, I was talking about 10 minutes of perfect Call of Duty, and I think that's what we just got out of that. That was absolutely flawless gameplay at OpTic Gaming. Everything they were doing was right. The communication was on point. You have Krim with so many flag caps as a submachine gun. He did not care halfway through that. He was just running to the other team's base, picking up the flag, and just running back as his other team was playing. Absolutely flawless gameplay.
And you saw Scump. I mean, first half, Scump kind of taking over, and then second half, it just seemed to be a team effort. Every single time their flag got pulled, they didn't let it get too far. They were able to be right on top of it to get to the returns. We talked about the communication, Joe, but was it a difference in gunfights that you were seeing in this game? What went wrong for Rise Nation?
I mean, absolutely. I think OpTic were winning so many one-on-one duels, and to me, it's just that the start on that non-preferred side by OpTic. They go up 2-0, and they were using streaks offensively. Like Crim6 would sneak into their base, and then Scump had a pair of streaks, and they would use those to get that flag out. And that just means you're so confident in your next side. Like they were literally playing to just destroy Rise that game.
And Scump, I mean, he seems to have come back to life here in the CTF TP. He had a big game starting things off, always involved in running the objectives as well. What did you see from Scump specifically?
Basically, him and Crim working in a sort of tandem to go over towards that brick side of the map. As soon as they got control of it, Crim did a great job of using his vision pulse as well. Both of these guys were able to pressure so far up into the middle map and towards Broken to get those flags out, which looked so easy. It's actually not that easy to do, but Rise could never really get a good setup, largely due to these two players. And, you know, we talk a lot about vision pulse over Psychosis. Watch Crim in that game. That's why it's so good.
Vision pulse over Psychosis. Crim6 is playing his A game. OpTic Gaming is awake. We are going to a game 5 now. Rise Nation, they just reverse sweeped Envy. Are they about to get reverse sweep, boys?
It's looking like
the crowd answered that one with
it's looking
yes.
like it. There's a lot of energy, man.
This is a tricky situation. I mean, both teams have just gone back and forth with each other. I don't really know. I don't even know how to answer this one.
I mean, I was going to say Rise needs to come out hot, but every time a team's done that,
Yeah.
the other team just wins that game.
Yeah,
Slow.
Right. I do think, though, that Rise needs to win one of the first 2 rounds.
To get their confidence back up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very important
definitely.
to sort of, you know, set their footprint down on this map, you know, so it's going to be an intense game 5.
Yeah, we've seen you guys in similar situations. You're up, then you let the other team come back. How do you just slam the door shut? Is it really just winning those first or second rounds, or how do you make a statement? Can you target an individual on OpTic Gaming?
I think the biggest thing we saw in that CTF is the amount of determination and decision-making out of OpTic Gaming. They're playing with a conviction right now. They're running straight at you. You need to hit them back. Answer back. Don't let them just take the map on you. I feel like that's why Rise struggled so much on that CTF in the first 2-3 rounds. You can't back down. Take those fights. 4 hit rocks. You need to shoot back at them, or else the OpTic steamroll's coming.
And I just think that comes down to those one-on-one duels, like especially like main slayers on Rise out of Octane. Like I believe at one point in that map he was 5-15, and you just can't let that happen. I think he brought it back in the last few minutes, but they were out of that game. You have to start off hot. You have to win your duels, especially in Search and Destroy.
Well, the only way to beat OpTic Gaming is to have an immense amount of teamwork, but you also have to be shooting straight. You have to be on the top of your game in order to play a team at this caliber. And Rise definitely has the talent, like I said, but if you do not win your one-on-ones against a team like OpTic, you're not going to win. You have to have the teamwork, and you have to be gunning everybody you see. You have to be on the top point of your game.
But we know you have to close out OpTic Gaming. That is something Kingsman couldn't do on the main stage earlier in the day. We saw insane individual performance that got OpTic back in it. The ace from Crim, the 2 1v3s from Karma. But Rise Nation, one thing I'm looking at here is the communication. Looney said when we beat Envy, the turning point is when we all started talking. You look back and no one's really chatting, but here are the ban and protects. What is going down? No overkill. Rapid fire is going to be banned by OpTic again, and Looney is getting rid of the thermal, trying to make it more difficult for Formal.
Very surprised to see Rise not racing a little bit more for that rapid fire. Maybe they just wanted to implement that in their strategy in map number 1, Hardpoint. The biggest thing I want to see repeated from Rise from map number 2 on the Infection is the same sort of thing they did towards Formal and the snipers. Get rid of the thermal. We see that there. Use those smokes to get up towards the middle of the map, especially over towards B-bomb site.
I mean, if I'm Rise Gaming right now, my main focus is shutting down Formal. I do not want to even give him a chance to snipe me.
Yeah.
You are playing one of the maps that you can avoid a sniper, probably the best. You have that mansion on defense. Get in there, stack it, and play your corners. Make them come to you. It's defense. Make them cross to the B-bomb, and you know that you have the information. On offense, make sure you're staying away from those tree jumps, because if you're gonna be peeking him and you're not peeking him with a sniper, you will get punished. So it's definitely something that they can avoid. I'm wondering to see if they actually try to.
Yeah, I think Rise is still banning well. I think they got to achieve out again. So, you know, they're still banning well, but they need to just, you know, play effectively. We saw it from games 1 and 2, you know, but they have to get back to that level. They can't let OpTic run away with this.
And you can't bank on a ninja defuse. OpTic is going to be quadruple checking the bomb this time around. The map is loading up. That means it's time for game number 5. Orlando, make some noise for these two teams in your winter semifinals. OpTic Gaming versus Rise Nation. Let's send it over to our casters.
And it looks like Formal has got the big stick out to kick things off. We saw him put it away in the Game 2 S&D. Can he get some damage done here, Matt?
I just think it's hilarious that everyone runs out of the spawn for OpTic Gaming, nobody brings the bomb. But
don't worry about it.
Kind of shows where their objective by committee is at this moment in time. And Formal just looking for a pick here in the middle of the map. Does not spot either of those players, but you have a good idea if you're the offensive team where they're going to be playing in that back B area. So nothing too surprising. Going to try and jump over mid-area, try and get a look over towards top mansion. Doesn't see anything, so you suspect that his teammates may push up into there, which you do see.
So he gets the vision, and now it's time to make the play and push in. I'm trying to keep Formal highlighted because you see that number 6 on the minimap. That's classic. It was kind of holding close inside a bunker. But now they're trying to take a little bit of control. You have Crim6 up top, but Formal finally able to find the pick, able to pick up 1 kill, and now they're pushing forward. Coming around the back, you see Classic there, goes up top. Hello. Ah, it looked good to me. Not able to hit it, though. This is going to be a 3 versus 3. Bomb does not get planted. So Karma's going to have to grab it, try to get it down. They're going to go over the top again. This time, surely he's going to hit it. Oh, it's his foot, and he's going to fall. The luck not in the cards here. The melee out, they're all down, and Rise is going to take it. How did that first shot not connect? And now Slacked has got 3 less toes.
Well, the first shot is huge because he doesn't connect on Classic, and Classic kills the bomb plant.
Yeah.
So that's a huge play right there.
It looked good, but
It looked pretty good to me.
Fact is, he doesn't hit it, though. Yeah, he misses it, and that, like
he doesn't hit it. Yeah.
That's a very popular angle. There's a reason he's kind of pre-firing that, well, not pre-firing, but pre-aiming that tree line. It's because he knows someone's going to go over the top. We kind of saw that most famously. Maybe Nagafin kind of did that early. God, you're thinking all the way back to like stage 1. He would get back on the tree line. Treyarch's even adjusted the level of the tree line multiple times because they're trying to make it more difficult to do that.
Yeah, Nagafin used to do that from the defensive side of things. You see Formal obviously just peeking that from the offensive side, knowing defenders are going to be jumping up there, but we have seen Nagafin use it on the defensive side of things with the sniper rifle to get look over and half off.
All right, well, after Rise is able to take that first round, let's see what they can do on offense. It's going to be a slow push, and this is usually one of our kind of longer S&D maps because rounds usually take a solid 45 seconds to even begin developing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go over towards Mansion, you're trying to get pick over on the B bomb site early. If that doesn't happen, maybe you try and play for a pick inside of Mansion, force your way in towards A. Usually A is like a late round kind of bomb site you would go play towards there. Your real best option is to go over towards B.
Looks like Looney and I think Karma playing a game of catch there with the frag grenades. He's neither able to connect. You see on X right there, 3 players here around Mansion to deal with. Looney trying to peek, getting tagged up, not going to be able to make the play yet. Scump, I think, watching lower. It looks like all the pressure is going to be going in from the top, though. Crim6 able to find the first kill. Now they're wrapping around the corner. Everybody dropping. It's going to be Octane up by himself, tagging up 1, tagging up 2, trying to look for the kill. He's pinned in bar, and he will drop. OpTic Gaming tying it up at 1-1.
I was going to say, he is very dead. Slack goes on a low wall run on the outside, trying to go up into that top dining area. He's able to not take out Crim6. Crim6 wins that gunfight. And right when he goes up, Slack, he has 2 teammates trying to push down that hallway. They both drop instantly, and that's where you see Octane, the last one alive.
Round 3. It's going to be back to offense. Now, after that, I was curious if Formal's going to switch out the sniper. He does. So what does that tell you might get done differently? He's a little bit frustrated with the hit market and maybe the miss, even though he opened up with, I believe, the first blood. Do you think it's just a different plan of attack here?
I mean, maybe they get a little bit more aggressive, feel like they need him to play a little bit closer towards that B site when they go and push up and try and take it. So that's probably why you see the switch.
All right, let's see what develops here. You have Crim starting to put a little bit of pressure in towards bunker. I think it was Classic that was playing up close and personal last time, so we'll get back to the flank, but it's Scump going to be tagged up. Now I think Crim's going to start to peek. He may have Octane in the back. Can he find the shot? Saw him for a second. It's a first blood from Karma. Everything could collapse here if Crim's able to get in from behind.
Yeah, and this is a devastating flank when you're able to get control of bunker and you pick up 1. You just block that cross over towards that B bomb site. Right away, those Slack's able to take out Formal, even things up at a 3v3. But
that's
now
the go. That is the go right there.
Start to get aggressive here.
Well, we'll get back to him in just a second. I thought the flank was going to come in a little bit quicker, but it does finally develop, and I think he's going to be what's going to destroy this. There's 1. There's the second. Not able to find it. Actually, it is going to be then Looney by himself, but Scump finds the kill. Believe he had 2 or 3 in the round, but that flank did end up finally paying dividends.
Yeah, and it was Karma drawing first blood, which was a real big kill. He kills Classic in the bottom Mansion area, so once that happens, they have to rotate another player in towards Mansion, which allows Crim to flank with ease through the back.
Yeah, basically, as soon as he saw Octane start to rotate towards Mansion, that was his okay to go. OpTic now in control. Remember, they got out to what was it, 2-2, and I think they got up to the 4-2 edge before things started to fall apart. So they started off pretty well in the first S&D. Can they keep the rhythm going now? They're going to be back to the defensive side of things. Rise Nation going to have to try and get this mansion break. We'll take a look at Krim. You saw him offensively playing inside bunker. He's going to be playing a similar spot that we saw Krim 6 on the other side, back to round 1, I believe.
Yeah, and you see Looney with bomb in hand, going to be towards that mid-map. This looks like it would be a B push out of Rise Nation with the way they're set up. You'll probably see Octane, once bomb goes down, probably go back over towards half wall. He'll watch bunker for a second, see if a flank comes in right away. And Looney actually with a nice nade banks it off that wall. They know one player is playing close. They're going to get some nice tags in. Karma know exactly where his position is. And
how's he alive?
He's got a teammate looking over him, and he's in a very tough spot. Looney grabs Krim, but Karma's able to pick up one. Traded out quickly, though, by Classic. Formal's there to take Classic out, and we're going to have a 2v2.
All right, so Bomb, you'll see, is down on the B site, and it looks like OpTic wants to hit the flank very, very quickly. They want to catch them off guard. You're basically switching kind of your spawns right now as they're going to push through. Now let's see how this develops. 25 seconds left on the clock. Bomb down by B. And this is going to be all timing, man.
I mean, Formal could see like the tip of the bomb there, but he doesn't actually know that it's down. Over at B, he has absolutely no idea. And once they clear out A here with 10 seconds to go, now you see the OpTic guys, they're going to start to fly over towards that B bomb site.
Here it comes, surprise! He said he finds Octane, one more in the corner, going to be a 1v1. He's not there to trade it out, but they stop it before the plant gets done, and that is going to be a 3-1 advantage for OpTic Gaming. Played beautifully.
Yeah, I mean, once they're over at the A bomb site with 10 seconds left, if nobody is getting it down at that moment in time, you know that the bomb is going down over.
And that's kind of what I meant to say. It was going to come down to timing, right?
Yeah.
The Slack's not going to be able to finish both the kills if they push through. They aren't even able to stop the first. Once he gets it, they shut it down. The crowd's starting to get rowdy here. Is OpTic Gaming looking poised for victory here in Game 5?
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what they do on this next offensive push. You have Psychosis on Formal. You could use that. He's actually brought the sniper back out, so he's going to see if he can get some vision over by B. And if you look at Rise Nation pushing down outside Snow, and I really like this play out of Rise. It's going to be Krim, though, drawing first blood in favor of OG. It's going to be Slack taking him out right away. And now it seems like Rise Nation has pinned the guys on OpTic inside Snow. Formal makes a big play, though, going towards mid-map.
Yeah, it looks like he was able to switch classes. He hadn't taken a shot. Should come by one. There's the one pop. There's the 4th round. OpTic Gaming 2 rounds away from the reverse sweep.
And they are fired up. And it's actually a big play by Formal because he does not fire a shot at half wall with the sniper, so he can change his class. Gets it done in time, switches over to the M8, comes on that flank, picks up a big kill in the bottom mansion.
Well, those 2 shots from Karma kind of explain that one burst. I say he got evaporated there at outside wall when Formal rotated back. Now it's going to be Rise, though, back to the offensive side. Is Formal going to be sniping on defense? No, it looks like he's put it away for now.
Now let's see what Rise goes with on the offensive side of things. And if you're them, I mean, right now you really haven't gotten anything to work over towards B. Like, maybe you try and force your way into this bottom mansion area, which seems like it's going to be the play.
That means a lot of pressure on Scump. You can see him back left kind of playing on Lambo. He's going to have a lot to deal with. Let's look at his POV because several players are going to be pushing in a second. He sees one, can't get baited and switch here. He's going to wisely back up. That's tough once he's able to hit the cross.
Well, the double nades by Looney buys them enough time and forces Scump out of this position where they could have potentially have gotten the bomb down. But those double nades gets Looney into a good spot. Now just needs to hold this angle and win the gunfight against Scump. And I say that it's easier said than done. And Scump puts a lot of bullets in Looney. And Scump, I believe, sees the foot of the player getting bombed down. So OpTic has the idea that the bomb's going down on A. You should see them collapse.
Krim was kind of coming around the flank. He actually comes through mid, gonna go top side now. Nobody has dropped yet. Krim should be finding one behind him to his right. He's got one down to the left. They're all around him, but now the kill's getting traded out. He's got to get into the action. Has to find it. There he's able to find one. There are 3 more inside. He's got one to his left, just trying to figure out the route here. Let's hop up to Karma's POV as he is able to find one. Now turns into 2v2. Has one more in front. The Heatwave comes out, able to pick up the kill, and is now on Looney in a 1v2. He has Heatwave to work with. Remember, OpTic Gaming has to play the defuse.
This is a 4v2.
There it is. There it is.
And Krim clutch. A huge clutch from Karma and Krim there in round 6. Puts OpTic up 5-1, Maven.
Well, I checked at one point, and Krim was like all the way out in rocks. Like, he wrapped through to come on the flank. I thought he was going to come through the bottom door. He ends up taking his time. The patience pays off, and Karma and Krim go massive.
Yeah, it was a beautiful play by those 2 players. And Karma coming around the driveway side. He's able to peek this corner real quick, see if Looney's down there. If he doesn't see Looney there, they kind of have an idea he's wrapped through the mid. Krim probably gets on bomb. Karma looks over him. They still win the round.
5-1 advantage now. Can they close it out on the offensive side of things? You have a Psychosis. Krim very, very close. He's flirting with that camo. On the other side, Octane has Glitch. Looney, Heatwave, Classic has camo to work with. So this is kind of where you sometimes get a swing from a team. We've seen some 1-5, 2-5 comebacks. If you can outplay with those specialist abilities, the question is, can Rise Nation get it done?
Let's see if Krim can be patient enough to push into bunker.
Let's look at Classic's POV here.
Classic has a great angle. Both players with camo, so the Formal go in first. Now Krim's going to challenge. They trade it out, turns into a 3v3. But now at least, if you're OpTic Gaming, Rise has to respect the fact that bunker is now open, potentially put another player back there.
And Krim, you know, he's been the one kind of applying pressure from either side through bunker. Let's see what the play call is going to be now for OpTic Gaming. Is they're going to be holding bomb here mid-map. Scump's got it, just waiting on some teammates to help as they've rotated over now from the bunker side. And it looks like they're going to wrap and do a kind of a more standard push in here through Palace.
Which is interesting because, you know, they have B completely open. Looks like Rise is kind of baiting them into this A play, and it's going to be Scump with bomb leading way. And you could say potentially they use the camo here to get out the back and make a play. And Krim's going to have one lined up. Nice shots there from Krim. You see Scump's going to pick up one in the kill feed. It's going to be all on Octane.
The glitch is in. Can Octane get it done? It's going to be a 1v2. Rise, he hits the edge. The timing might be horrible. He's able to pick it up. Has to turn around. Scumpy's there, and there it is. Game 5, 6-1. OpTic Gaming has done it.
Unbelievable. OpTic Gaming comes back against Rise Nation there, winning Game 5, Search and Destroy. Commanding fashion, 6-1. And
if Octane looks to the left for a second there, maybe he pulls that off.
And you got to feel for the guys on Rise Nation. They played tremendous throughout that series. The first 2 games, they were able to win, and they just blew that Game 3. I feel like, nope.
Is that a FaZe jersey and an OpTic chant right now?
That was a fairly accurate representation of what happened to Rise there. Yeah, that's an odd scenario, but okay. I do think Rise kind of gave that one away. I mean, they're a few seconds away from winning that uplink. They needed to put it away there. Once you give OpTic, you know, a little bit of a chance, they take full advantage of it.
How many times during like the CWL Stage 2 were you and I casting a 3-0? It should be a 3-0. It's been a long night.
We think it's a 3-0.
A team scores. Remember, like Vicento misses that one, then it goes all the way to a Game 5.
That was probably the worst.
That was one of the worst throws I've ever seen, Vicento. I'm sorry, but yeah, you see this all the time. You're so close to victory, you can basically smell it, and then it gets grasped from you. The next thing you know, you're on the edge. OpTic Gaming clutches up with
I mean, the hardest thing to do is close out teams like OpTic Gaming, you know, your top dogs, and Rise so close, just not able to do it. It's funny, we were talking a little bit before that, you know, comeback in the uplink of what we saw them do to Envy earlier in the CWL season. It was almost the same type of thing where they rallied off a few points there in the final seconds.
A 3 unanswered kind of to close out the game. They end up taking that 1-by-1. OpTic, they continue to get it done. I mean, you have to have faith in this squad when Krim's on it for a final game.
They get it done, but they don't look great.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, the fact they go to a Game 5 versus Kingsman, it's not that they've been looking like OpTic of old that's dominating every match, but that's a good win versus Rise. That's a very, very solid win. I mean, but it's not pretty.
No, it was not pretty. I mean, they were dominating the hard point. They let Rise come back and win it. They start off pretty good in the SND. They let Rise come back and take that one. They're down in the uplink. They somehow find a way to win it. They dominate the CTF. The CTF, you can't even talk about it.
Yeah, first 3 like a story of comebacks, kind of.
They dominate this final Search and Destroy as well.
All right, we've got our boy Scump on the floor with Jack. Take it away, Jack.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Another incredible series here at MLG Orlando. OpTic Gaming versus Rise Nation. It never fails. That one, though, you guys go down 2-0. The comeback begins in that uplink. So many insane moments, but I first want to talk about what was the difference in the later respawns in that series? What even propelled that 6-0 CTF that we saw in Breach?
Well, I think the first 2 maps, I honestly feel like we were outplaying them in every aspect, but we had such a big lead. They came back, they played with rapid fire earlier, and we hadn't, so we were just like not getting kills that we were used to getting because of rapid fire. The SND, there were rounds that we gave up, and then the last 3 rounds, we just started clutching up and actually getting the kills that we needed when we needed them.
Well, you definitely did that all the way into Game 5 as you take that one. Now, I want to quickly talk about the raw emotion we were seeing from you in that series. Everyone knows the history of you guys in Rise Nation, all the talks of who's the best. Every round you guys won, you were on your feet. What was going through your head in that game?
Oh, I'm just so proud of my teammates. I really wasn't in many of the clutch scenarios. I was in maybe 2 of them, but the really big ones that we needed, Damon, Krim, and Matt just went so big, and I couldn't be happier, you know, for our team and how we came back and played that.
Well, you guys have set yourselves up now for an opportunity for another incredible championship Sunday. You'll find out the winner of who you'll be facing tomorrow between LG and Elevate. Who are you looking forward to facing between those two squads? You've already beaten LG once this weekend.
Yeah, I'd like to play LG again. I think that a lot of people are still upset that we lost Season 2 to them, so I'd like to get a crack at them in the winners finals.
Scump, I've done so many interviews with this guy after winning now. It never gets old. We're going to throw it, though, back over to the analyst desk for now, though, to close out the series.
Thank you very much, Jack. Big win for OpTic Gaming, the reverse sweep. We saw back-to-back reverse sweeps here on the main stage tonight. Little interesting start to prime time here with OpTic Gaming rallying, but big props to Rise Nation. They opened up with some big games. Game 1, able to battle back after a very rough start, wins that. Then they have a Ninja Defuse, steal the S&D, but then OpTic just slowly started to pick them apart, guys. How big of a game was that Game 5? 6-1. This was a decisive victory from OpTic.
Just came down to those clutch situations once again, and we saw Krim and Karma do it earlier today. They're doing it again. When it comes down to those individual 1v1 situations, somehow they're just able to poke around the map. Krim picks up with an M8. Damon ends up heat waving someone to just all of a sudden turn the tide into their favor into those later seconds of the round, and that's why they're able to just pull away so easily. But that was a great series overall. That was a lot of fun to watch. Whenever these two teams face up, it's always like that, high-octane gameplay.
Joe, you were right. You stuck with OpTic Gaming from the beginning to the end, and they pulled it out for you. Who are you most impressed by throughout the series?
I mean, honestly, all of them. I think they all just played great. You saw the, the OpTic that we're used to. And in that Game 5, when it came down to those like 3v2s, 2v2 skirmishes on the map, like OpTic was just so decisive. They moved around as a team. They traded kills. And I mean, you can't give up 4v2 clutches to OpTic. That's something that you just can't do.
I saw a few times you were just scratching your head asking what is going on the Rise side of things. What mistakes did you see that they need to fix now knowing that they have to make a losers bracket run?
They were just giving too much control to OpTic. They were letting OpTic play their pace of their game. It looked like they started out so strong in the first 2 maps, but it just looked like they were letting OpTic have their way with them after that. They weren't setting the pace. They were kind of playing it a little bit less challenging as they were in the first time. They were challenging them. They were showing them that we're here to play. We want to play you guys. And then towards the end right there, especially in that search and destroy, it looked like Rise was playing not to lose instead of to win, if that's probably the best way to say it. It looked like every setup that they had was back in their base on defense. Yo, I'm watching the cross. I'm watching your bunker. I'm going to sit back mansion, and I'm going to sit Lambo. There was no crazy gameplay out of him. And once you give OpTic a map control like that, it is something where they will take advantage of. And I've talked about it probably all weekend. You got to play 10 minutes of COD right there, and it just wasn't that.
We've always seen the ban and protect before every single game. We said games 1 and 2, Rise Nation definitely won the ban and protect battle. How big were games 3, 4, and 5 when it came to ban and protect, or do you think that didn't matter at all? It was all about the gunshots.
I think it all comes down. I don't think it came down to the ban and protect. Let's be simple about it. The uplink, they should have closed it out. OpTic was able to chip their way back into this one, and it just clutched up again. Rise, it was sort of the opposite of what we saw from maps 1 and 2. Rise outplayed for 90% of the game, and then all of a sudden, OpTic gets that one situation to clutch on. They end up converting it, and that's why they're able to bring it back and keep themselves alive. Huge plays from Krim and company to extend it over to 4, and then you saw the domination from then on.
Here on Saturday night, MLG Primetime, we have 2 winners bracket semifinals. You just saw the first one. It's in the books. OpTic Gaming has secured the first spot in Championship Sunday's winners bracket final. But now we have another battle getting ready behind us on the main stage. We're going to see Luminosity taking on Elevate, a squad that finished second at the MLG Anaheim opener. You guys pumped for this one?
Definitely, this is going to be a great match. I think this is 2 great teams going at each other, and they both have a lot to prove right now.
Yeah, it's just 2 teams. You're just like, how do they keep doing it? I mean, especially this Elevate team, like, they just didn't look so hot Friday, and now they're in a winner's semis. They take on FaZe and they beat them, and it's just they just keep putting together series.
They're just such a complete team, in my opinion. Like I said, they have a roster that is one of the few rosters in Call of Duty that is not made for Hardpoint. You look at that team, and on paper, everyone says they're not that good of a team because of Hardpoint. But there is 3 other game types that everyone forgets about, and that's why you see so many reverse sweeps in this. That team is a great S&D team, a great uplink team, and a good CTF team.
All right, we'll get into it a little bit more on the other side of the commercial break. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back with match number 2, LG taking on Elevate.